You blank because blank and now blank. You are missing this sign either from your intuition, higher self, something, because you're focusing on what's going wrong and you're missing something that's trying to point you in the direction of what could go right. And now, oh, you're trying to hold on to someone that your intuition or your guides are like, let go, because they're emotionally manipulating you. Listen to your intuition. If you don't listen to your intuition, what's going to happen? They're going to hurt you in the heart. Let them go. They counted you out because they weren't counting. They weren't doing addition. They were doing the inequality symbol, and your number was higher than theirs. And if they were doing math, they would have kept you in. But in their mind, there's only one winner, and they still lost. You were recently protected from something in a really big way. This is what was going on behind the scenes as you were being protected in front of the scenes. Okay. What was being covered up so that you couldn't see it? Movement. What kind of movement? Moving forward with more lies about you, but how was that covering something up? Well, basically, your higher power was closing your eyes to the fact that they were spreading all these, a second wave of rumors that you were not doing well and that all of this was going on in your mind and you were struggling. He covered that up, your higher power, and didn't let you know about it, because without you knowing about it, you were proving them wrong without even realizing that you were doing it, which made you proving them wrong all the more powerful. My main confirmation card on my channel. It's my main confirmation card because it's the first prediction that I made in a series, and it's the first one that came true, my News in Reverse series. News in Reverse is significant here because you reversed everything they were spreading about you without even knowing they were spreading it. And now they look real dumb. Ain't no mountain high enough to keep what from getting to you? Your divine support. They lost. You blank because blank and now blank. You are making some forward progress at a more rapid pace because you spoke your truth. That was direct. We have Queen and Knight, both of swords. So you put out the message of actioning your truth, and now you're getting what you want. Awesome. What message from your guides do you need to hear today? The common sayings, be in the world, but not of it, and wear the world loosely, refer to the need to be engaged with life while not being attached to specific outcomes. Do not take this world too personally, for you are one of the many co-creators here to play, and we have many ideas about how all of this should play out. Just know that outcomes don't matter as much as the presence you bring to each experience and how you let yourself flow through life. There is a real freedom in knowing and accepting this. So will you wear the world loosely or will it straitjacket you? It is your choice. Whatever happens, have the courage to keep trying to live as you were meant to. And when it comes to manifesting, don't worry about the how or even the why. We have that covered. Everything is going to turn out exactly as it should. Spirit has a plan. What is Spirit's plan for you right now? Domestic joy and happiness, on the other side of not holding back, expressing your truth. You create the safe space for yourself. It doesn't matter about others' opinions. You're taking back your power from the emotional manipulation that was keeping you from previously expressing your truth. And now you're getting the reward. They tried to stop you, but they tried to change you, but they tried to dim you, but they tried to stop you, but you saw the truth through their illusions. They tried to change you, but all they could change was the way that everyone perceived you, and that actually lit a fire under your butt to more authentically represent who you truly were, since you didn't have a reputation to uphold anyway. They tried to dim you, but you were thinking 3 steps ahead. You were playing chess, and they were playing checkers. How do they feel now? Ooh. Don't compete where you don't compare. They already lost, and they know it. There's a feminine energy here. Someone who went against you, and they stabbed themselves in the foot by the way in which they went against you. They got too big and bold about it because they thought it was funny. But there was someone around that didn't think it was funny. And this person wasn't on your side, per se, at that time. But this person already had their suspicions about the person who was going against you. So they gathered some kind of evidence to prove that the person who was going against you knew that they were telling lies. This is less about, I'm just recording someone talking shit. This is, I'm getting proof that the shit that this person's talking, they know is false information. Knowingly spreading false information. Also known as malicious slander. Uh-oh, right? Yeah. Because this person wants to come public with this information that they have, as in the information that they have about the person who was against you and thinking it was funny to spread knowingly false information, and also brag that they knew the information was false. Double uh-oh. Yep. It seems as though there has been a change. And because the person who was going against you has, to some degree, moved on to other topics, and this is where your divine protection comes in. Guess what topic they moved on to? They moved on to the person who has the information in your defense. And ironically enough, God's got jokes, because that was the exact reason that this person kept whatever information they have, is because they kept it in case they were the one that was turned on at some point, because they saw a pattern in this ringleader. And you cut off access to your energy from someone who was quite literally siphoning it like a funnel. Like, almost like they found some kind of magic that attached this invisible straw from them to you, and they just, any chance throughout the day that they got, they were sucking out your energy. Not anymore, because of something that you did to elevate. It's like you went up the next floor and the cord snapped on the way up the elevator. So now, this person who, the ringleader, is the Queen of Swords in the reverse. Uses her words to cut people, Step 1 people may act well put together, but life is in shambles behind the scenes. And that person is now turning on the person who has proof. And again, this person isn't really all the way doing it for you. This is more, it may be attempted to be used as a bargaining chip, like, if you don't go against me, I won't say this. But even if it is, I don't see that working. Because Queen of Swords in the reverse, ego is too big. And the person who has some kind of proof doesn't only just have proof about things that that person said about you that they know to not be true. There's also some kind of money, bad something going on that Queen of Swords in the reverse does not want anybody to know about, but this person that is, we'll call them Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget that has some info about you also has some info about money exchanging hands between someone that it shouldn't be exchanging hands with for something that it shouldn't be exchanging hands for. So it seems as though karma is going to be knocking at a couple people's doors for the way that they tried to backstab you while convincing you that you were doing it to yourself. So this is part 2 of the dark feminine energy that's going against you. There's someone that has proof of that dark feminine knowingly spreading false information about you. So this is about that other person. So they're coming out as 3 of Cups in the reverse. So they feel and have always felt like an outsider when it comes to whatever group this is. This person does feel like they were being monitored or watched, or it's almost like whoever the dark feminine is was aware that this person had some kind of information and was really trying to keep them stuck so that they couldn't be seen as someone that is worth listening to if they did happen to share whatever proof they have. And again, they have proof about the dark feminine knowingly spreading lies. So it's not just the fact of talking shit, it's knowingly spreading lies. And there's this feeling of this person has the ability to make the whole thing crumble for the ringleader, that dark feminine energy. 3 of Pentacles in the reverse came out underneath the 3 of Cups in the reverse. So there's a lot of separation from what used to be a team. And it seems like, because it's 3 and 3, the ringleader, dark feminine energy, isn't really directly connected to the party that has proof. It's like a once removed scenario. So there's somebody that connected them originally, and the only reason that this person hasn't come forward with their proof yet is because they're trying to still protect or at least like save face with that middle party. So dark feminine is connected to someone who that person feels like a feminine as well, someone in their feminine energy, and then that person is connected to this third party that has some kind of proof, right? So the person that has the proof is only not giving it forward yet because they're trying to see if there's another solution that works out for everybody. I don't know if that everybody includes you or that everybody includes just them being left alone, because at this point, again, the dark feminine is now picking on, why did I say pounding? Pounding. All of the spell work that she was sending to you is now going to this other person. So at this point, the person with proof is saying, you can either completely stop and leave me alone, or I'm going to have to play the cards that I have in my hand here, even if it means exposing that middle person that they now want to protect, but they're not going to protect them at their own expense. They're only going to protect them if they can protect both themselves and that middle person. And what I don't know, somehow, some way, this is breaking up a whole family. It's breaking up a whole family. And it's really all down to the dark feminine is stuck in ego and doesn't really give a shit about anybody. And the middle person, the dark feminine, has something on that person. So that person can't really do the all the way right thing, because they know that there's something that dark feminine will use against them, because, again, she doesn't give a shit about anybody. And then the other person is like, if you don't leave me alone, I'm going to have to do something with the proof that we both know that you have, that I have about you, to the dark feminine. And it seems as though time is running out, because all of the spell work that was sent to you, you handled a lot better than this person is handling it. And my screen just went black right as I said that. This person is towards the end of what they're able to handle. So it's going to be very soon where they're going to have to say, I have to get you to leave me alone somehow, some way, to the dark feminine energy. So this is part 3. Part 1, dark feminine going against you. Someone starts to catch on, gets proof that dark feminine is knowingly spreading false information. Part 2, basically dark feminine starts to send spell work to the person who does have the proof about you. This is looking into what type of havoc is that dark feminine ringleader causing in the person's life that has some kind of proof. It seems as though there's a relationship being messed with that's very, very important to that person that has proof in your favor. A relationship that they value very highly, a relationship that's important to their life. So this isn't just like a friend, this is like a best friend or higher type thing. Someone very important to them. And it seems as though the dark feminine is splitting the black magic that she's sending between the person who has the proof and the person that she's wreaking havoc in the relationship for that person. It seems as though the person that the middle person has the relationship with is getting spell work that makes them basically almost feel like very high highs, very low lows, but like crashing, crash, crash, crash. Almost like mimicking BPD is what it seems like. And for the person that has the proof about you, it's almost like a freeze. So there's nothing that they can do in any scenario. And it's like situations keep unfolding in their life where it just feels beyond their control, beyond their control. She's trying to make this person feel absolutely hopeless and helpless. And she's not going to stop until this person is trying to climb back up to rock bottom because they're that low. Because again, as we said in part 2, dark feminine doesn't give a shit about anybody in this scenario. There's also an element of like a freeze spell on money here. That could be something that this person was waiting for that's not going to come in, or that could be like straight up losing a job, depending on the scenario. But it's almost like that person is going to have to reach out to someone for help here. And that person that this person is going to have to reach out for help for is that middle person. So dark feminine is causing havoc in that other person's life, but that person is only connected to dark feminine through a middle source. The dark feminine is doing this on purpose, trying to make that person feel helpless and hopeless so that they have to run to that middle source. Because in part 2, I said the only reason that person didn't come forward with their information yet is because they're still trying to protect that middle person that connected them to the demon in the first place, right? The demon, the dark feminine, is trying to draw those two closer and closer together, make the one need that middle one so that they don't give the information that they have. It's not going to work because it's like I draw that person back in, but still the spell work and black magic isn't going to stop. And that's what that other person wants, is them to leave them alone. And this isn't leaving them alone. This is just, I'm leading you back to the source that can help you a little bit, but I'm still not going to leave you alone. And your troubles are still going to continue. And it's because of that dark feminine. As in that outside person that has the proof, their troubles are going to continue because the dark feminine is not going to leave them alone until she completely makes this person... It feels like in a mental institution, to be honest. If not, then some kind of legal... I mean, I have justice here next to the lovers. So some kind of legal scenario or situation, either with the relationship person that is also being affected, or I'm feeling most strongly mental institution, but obviously that's not going to be the case for everybody. So we're looking legal, mental, or divorce, or child custody, something that's like very, very crucially important. There's 0% chance of that dark feminine leaving alone that other person until that other person goes through this whole traumatic experience, because that person, the dark feminine, is trying to keep that person completely distracted so that they don't reveal this information until they're all the way beat down at rock bottom. So, yeah. This is part 4, dark feminine. So there's another person that, this is not the person that has the proof of them knowingly spreading false information about you. There's a different masculine energy that's also connected to this dark feminine energy. This divine masculine is being threatened to lose everything if they talk. That's the only thing that's kind of keeping them stuck. There's also, because this masculine isn't a good person, but also knows that they're in a very bad spot. They know that it's like damned if I do, damned if I don't. And that's increasing to I'm damned right now. So this person is being threatened with losing everything before they're ready. Like no time to prepare. The second you open your mouth is the second you get thrown out on the street with no help and no support, and something along those lines, whatever that looks like in their specific situation. Like financially cut off, made to lose their job, like everything that can be threatened is being threatened here. But there's also something that dark feminine has on that masculine. Feels like they did something pretty bad that very few people know about, but unfortunately for them, this dark feminine is one of those very few people that know about what that other masculine energy did wrong. And they are very aware that this person will waste not even a full second to spill the beans and take action against this masculine if the masculine goes against this dark feminine. Somehow this masculine swindled a deal to be paid off, though, which makes me feel like they must not have that much of a conscience if they're still at least trying to get something out of it, right? But it does seem as though this person is heavily struggling with being okay about what they... I don't want to say what they did, because they did do plenty of stuff, but right now what they're struggling with is what they allowed to happen because they knew better. And they let it continue, and they reveled in it with this person, and now they're realizing that this dark feminine won't think twice to cut them too. Won't hesitate. Not for a second. Probably a pretty scary position to be in. Losing everything like that. Well, that's what you get when you play around with a dark feminine, and you know that she's a dark feminine because she delights in it. And all these people had no problem playing nice with this dark feminine when it was your turn to be on the receiving end of it. And it's funny because they're scared now, because the only reason that that dark feminine has the energy available to mess with all of them is because she took back all of the energy she was spending to mess with you. So take what you were going through and divide it up like a pizza. They all have one slice and you had the whole pie. Don't feel bad for these people now. This is the karma that they created for themselves with the choices that they willingly made with their own free will. Please remember that. There's someone that you cut off, and this person was anticipating or expecting that you would have turned around and ran back to them begging by now. And you're not. And they're, quite frankly, literally shocked. They pegged you for someone who needed validation or needed attention. And they were trying to see exactly how low they could set the bar and have you still try to jump over it. And they set the bar all the way on the ground, and they thought that you would still jump over it and act like it was hard and stick around, and you didn't. You walked away. You may have even held back on some things that you could have said, but you just didn't see the point because this person is just not in the same reality as you. This person wanted to buy your love and affection, or at least wanted to use something like that to make up for the mistreatment that they planned right from the start to do to you. They wanted to come in and sabotage you so easily and hurt you so badly and feel good about it. And they still were going to try, but they weren't going to feel good about it because they saw you as the Empress or the Emperor, the Queen of Cups or King of Cups. Take it how it resonates. They saw you as the total package, when at first they were convinced that you were the perfect target for their narcissistic supply. So you went from the perfect target that could be easily bought into manipulation to quite literally the one that got away, and the one that got far away, and the one that is not turning around or looking in the rearview mirror. And it is driving this person up several walls. Way up several walls. This person is going to likely try and reach out to you, but they're not going to try very hard. And when you don't reply or respond, it's going to eat them alive. If you do reply or respond, you might not even hear a second message back from them, because all they want is to feel like they won. That's it. And to convince themselves in their small peanut brain that they won, all they need to do is say, oh look, the person still would let me back in, but I'm not going to give them the opportunity to. So it's likely that if you did answer, you wouldn't hear again, or you would just get ghosted very quickly. This person is stuck in a very, I don't like my life and I'm taking it out on others. And I was in the middle of a transformation and decided, nah, I'm not going to do that because I would rather just continue to use my power, authority, money, whatever. This person uses something as a tool to control others, and it's easier for them to do that than to step out of their comfort zone and heal their very, very big mommy wound. So, yeah. There's somebody here that feels like you're giving them the silent treatment because you're trying to teach them a lesson, or like that you're giving them this treatment for X amount of time and then you're gonna pop back up and apologize or like give an excuse as to why. Like, they basically think that the timer's gonna run up on your silent treatment and you're gonna come running back to them, or at least walking back to them. They hope crawling back to them, but they know that that's highly unrealistic. But they know that you know what they didn't want you to know about what they were trying to hide from you or do to you or participate in that was against you. But they know you don't necessarily have proof of their involvement in this, but they also know that you know. But they're almost hoping that if you don't ever get the physical proof, that you'll break the silent treatment to try and prove yourself right. Because if they can't get you back through trying to restart whatever old times were for the two of you, if they can't get you back that way, then they think at the very least you'll eventually come back to check if you were right. And they're going to use that to their advantage, almost like an endless narcissist supply, because they'll likely either hurt you, ghost you, or lead you on at that point, all to refill their cup of hatred that they have for themselves. And this person has become close with someone who does not like you, or someone that has direct access to you, or both. But this person, since they can't get to you directly, is trying to get to people that they can either talk to about you or with about you, or someone who has direct access to you. Basically, they're obsessed and they're not able to let it go. And they're not recognized. Not my phone saying 20% battery right then. Unable to let it go. They're running themselves completely dry just on the energy that they're pouring out to you alone, and none of that energy is from communication with you, talking to you, anything with you. It's all energy that they're spending to find out about you. It's giving creepy. So, and they're also like buddy now with someone that's not connected to you, but that they use to also watch you. It's almost like they pay someone to watch you in the hours when they're not able to, which just made this a lot more creepy. So, yeah. There's someone here that was knowingly trying to strong-arm you into believing a false narrative about them, though. Like, they were trying to convince you that they were the complete opposite of the person that they actually are on the inside. This is likely a feminine or someone in their feminine energy. They basically were trying to woo you or buy your affection or respect in whatever way. It doesn't have to be monetarily, but it basically trying to pull the wool over your eyes by some kind of external source of pleasure that you didn't even really need or want in the first place, but this person tried to offer it to you and then convince you that you needed it, type of thing. This person is starting to have major problems in their group or their circle or whatever like whoever was rallying together, those other ralliers are starting to turn on that main person. And it's because that person tried to do the same to them, but you can't have it both ways, because behind the scenes, in order to get certain people to look at you a certain way, the person had to show a little bit of their true colors, but they showed a little bit too much of their true colors. It's something specific that they said that really alerted one person in the group that there was a problem. And that's what the Holy Grail was. That was like the straw that broke the camel's back, is one person picked up on something specific, and it was like, all right, you're going to have to give it a rest if you want to still pretend like you're a good person, because you're taking too much joy in the crap talking or the method of doing so. Sun came out twice. So people are seeing their true colors now, and there's nowhere for them to hide. There's an ex-friend here that is quite regretful for how they treated you and the things that they said about you. They're regretful for how they treated you because they know that because of your growth that there's no entrance back into your life. But they're regretful for what they said about you because it's been disproven, and that's why they're upset about that. They were so sure and so set in being right about you that they stopped looking for the actual reality of the situation and just started taking anything that they could use that would prove their theory correct, and taking that piece out and using it in any which way they want to make it fit their certain scenario or story. They know that there's no entry back into your life, and it's almost like they want to come back in because they want you to help them fix the reputation that they ruined for themselves. Like and it didn't all the way happen yet. There's still like a little bit more that needs to occur here. More people need to turn away from them before they really feel the full impact of this. But the dominoes have already started falling. And this person wants to ideally find a way back in. If not, find a way in with someone else that has access to you. And it's all because they want to kind of plant ideas in your mind to help them fix the reputation that they ruined by the choices that they made. That's how they feel. They just feel like defeated. How am I going to get back up from this? I don't know which way to go. And it all comes down to things that they said them with their full chest. And they said them in a way, if I knew anything, this is what I know. If I'd ever been certain about anything in my entire life, this is the thing that I'm most certain about. This person is blah, blah, blah. So if that's what you were most certain of in your whole entire life, and that's been disproven, there's a problem, right? So that's how that person feels right now, is because they put all their eggs in the basket of, I'm not actually looking for the truth, I'm just looking to prove myself right. And the bottom of that basket fell out and all their eggs smashed all over the ground. So, and there's a feeling of they want to try and offer you an excuse. And the excuse would likely be something like, oh, I heard this from so-and-so, and that's what I believed to be true, because then this and this proved it. This person believed that without any proof, never asked you about it, and then went and looked for things that would confirm that lie being the truth, so that they felt like they had one up on you, or that you at least weren't outshining them because there was something wrong with you. This is not a friend that you want to let back in. You were the ritual sacrifice here, but literally in some cases, or at the very least, anytime there's a group that needs something to talk about to take the heat off of themselves, you were the topic of discussion. And you weren't around to defend yourself for it, and they took full advantage of that. And now they're paying the price very heavily. Look, you can see this is like stabbed into this crown here. This is the king. This is like his queen had to take off the crown, and now there's something blocking it from being picked back up. Basically, these people's emotions let them get the best of them, and they spewed out very hateful words, and now they're quite literally realizing that they stabbed themselves in the foot with this, and because of this. They felt like life owed them retribution. And they looked at you as the way that they could get that, because they looked at you as like, oh, I can get everybody on my side if I just go against this person that everybody else is against. And now they're recognizing and realizing that you were probably actually the only one that could help them get to what they wanted. And now they're shit out of luck. So this reading is not going to be for everybody, but there's someone here who, if you were in a scenario where you were kind of set on seeing a future that wasn't the reality of the situation, and you weren't sure what kept drawing you back into this particular scenario when there wasn't anything giving you reason externally, there's someone here who essentially was planting seeds through black magic or subliminal something or other, trying to make you feel on purpose as if they were divinely sent to you, knowing they were not. And this person didn't really give you too much emotionally, but tried to really lay it on really heavy in whatever telepathy channels they had opened up with you. When you stopped feeding them any energy, when you caught on to what was going on, that telepathy channel kind of collapsed. And somehow, some way, this person still had a source connected to you, but you since have cut that off as well. And this person is trying to find a way to come back, and this time future fake with you. So this could happen, or this could be the case, or something like that, knowing full well this person is like a undercover, very hidden narcissist, but they put it out to the world as if that's not the case. They put it out to the world as if they're very well put together. Almost as if they're above people in a way, because they know that what they're doing behind the scenes is just like scum. Because essentially they're trying to make it seem like they're working for the light, and they're working for the opposite, and they're replicating what would be from the light and trying to make themselves look like that. But you took your power back, and you saw their darkness very clearly. And there's nothing that they can do now to fix it, and they know that. But they're going to try and come back in with some sort of future faking scenario and trying to convince you that things could be different or could be better. They're not. This person's a liar. What are people saying about you now that's different than what they were saying about you before? It seems as though people are very aware that you are being a lot more mindful about who you're giving your time and your energy to. And a lot of people are triggered by that. They're triggered right in the inner child wound, because that is the wound that allowed you to cut off access and be mindful with access to you. And because you did that, and because they see your before and after of you doing that, that's what it triggers in them. It triggers that inner child wound, and it triggers that self-love wound as well. I have Queen of Wands, Page of Cups, and Knight of Cups to start. So because you changed your social interactions in a way, it's triggering people's inner child, which is making them look at their own self-love like, am I in the best state here, especially because they didn't waste any time to beat you down when you were at your lowest. And now they're recognizing and realizing that you freed yourself and you evolved, you moved forward, and they're still stuck in the literal same place that you left them. And now they realize that you went and did something with yourself, with your healing, with your life, with your journey. And they're coming up as the King of Wands reversed. You came up as the Page of Wands reversed. So you had less potential and it should have been harder for you. But then why are you moved on and they're still in the same place? They're not in their action-oriented king energy. They're in their, my passion has doled out, same old, same shit, different week type energy. So it's causing them to really have to look at, if that person, as in you, they're saying, if you were the problem, why is it that you found a solution and they didn't? And they're stuck with the problems that they still had before you started on this adventure. And right above this is them struggling with self-love. So you triggering their inner child wound because of how you're changing yourself when it comes to social access. It's big triggering people. But sometimes when people had a chance and opportunity to be in our lives and they abused that or misused that, that's the best thing you can do for them, is allow yourself to just not go above and beyond to trigger them. But if you're triggering them just by being you, don't feel bad about it. Allow it to happen. That's what they need, or they're going to stay stuck right like they are right now for very much longer. And ironically enough, they hate absolutely nothing more than you being the one to be the catalyst for their healing. They hate to love you. This is for those that know that they had some kind of death magic spell put on them that failed, but you're aware of it. Here's the password: tornado, natural disaster, mental health. In reverse, a reversal of mental health. So there was a decision made that as soon as it was made by the party that was sending you this magic, there was instant karma. Like within the next 48 hours, instant karma for them. And at that point, everything after that was running full speed to get away from what was chasing them. So they piled on an existential amount of additional karma for themselves because of the decisions that they made in haste from running from the instant karma. Now you would think that if there was such intense instant karma, this person would be like, I better not continue to add more problems to that person because obviously they're divinely protected. Not this person. Very small brain. So this person continued to add on more and more and more because they didn't really believe that karma would happen to them, because they believed they could magic spell their way out of it. Not realizing you're coming up as the high priestess, male, female, doesn't matter. You're coming up as someone who's connected to higher knowledge, who has divine support, and who quite literally can't be touched. I have the devil in the reverse on the end of the same row as the high priestess. This wasn't going to work. And that instant karma, this came out next to the devil in reverse. That instant karma was God saying, hey, this isn't going to work out so well for you. Are you sure you want to proceed? And this person said, yeah, definitely. I'm not going to walk away. I'm actually going to double or nothing, triple or nothing. And this person is now finding out that not only are they not getting what they wanted out of this, but everybody else is seeing their true colors. And the instant karma that they already received is nothing compared to what's coming in for them now. Like, if they could go back and live in that instant karma, it would be a pleasure compared to what is chasing them down right now. And now they're too tired to outrun it because they spent all their energy trying to dismantle your life after they were literally told, hey friend, it's not going to work. And they said, I'm gonna do it anyway. And now they're learning the consequences of that, and they don't like it. Oh well.
They're our pattern, and we're gonna keep repeating until we repair.
She's saying how during our healing journey, if we choose people that are similar to what we've chosen in those seasons where we ended up hurt, it's not because they're our type, it's because they're our pattern, and that pattern needs to be broken so that we don't keep repeating it. And I pulled some cards, and it's interesting because this to me is, if you keep doing what you've always done, especially in terms of relationships, friendships, romance, whatever, if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. And you need to kind of correct course here, or you're going to continue to leave yourself out in the cold based off of the choices that you make of who you allow access to your energy and who you allow around you. People are going to keep stringing you on if that's the lesson that you haven't learned yet. If you haven't learned when to walk away from someone who's mistreating you or mishandling you or degrading you or abusing you, of course that same scenario is going to continue to happen until you decide to take your power back. There's breaking through an illusion that will allow you to close the chapter. But until you figure out the lesson, that's why it's repeating. That's why you're not getting this fresh start here, because if you always do what you've always done, you're going to continue to get what you've always gotten. So to break the cycle, we must heal those wounds, address them, identify them, and transmute them. And in the same token, if you're finding that what you've always experienced is happening now, is happening again, or you feel like you're worried about it happening, look at what the lesson is that you're missing and not taking into full integration in your scenario or situation. If you're not fully integrating the lesson from the past, you're going to get tripped up. But if you completely understand the lesson that you were supposed to learn from those bad relationships or bad connections, when that scenario begins to repeat itself, you're going to walk away and wash your hands totally clean of it without second thought and know that that's the right decision, not question that that's the right decision. That's how you know you learned the lesson. So you will need something that begins to look like it's going to repeat that same scenario so you can say, I learned that lesson, no thank you. I don't really even know what to say about these cards, but I'm looking into what they viewed was your weakness, okay? If you were someone who was severely targeted and you're like, wow, I just, like, if they really even knew me, why would they try it type of thing? It's interesting. So they believed that your triggers were that you were very impatient and that made you quarrelsome. So if they could trigger you to get in this energy of impatience, you'd fight. That's what they thought. And then they thought that you were fearful and resisting change. So quickly triggered into quarrels and resisting doing anything to fix it. But the whole time you were doing a lot of things to fix what those triggers were. And matter of fact, those triggers were only triggers in the first place because what was being triggered were wounds created by the people who felt this way about you. So then, interestingly enough, I have fearful again, but this time it came with emotionally overreacting. So break you down, get you to fight with people, and then break you down a little bit more, get you in that state of fear after you're already fighting, and get you to emotionally overreact. Because at that point, it's like drowning yourself in your emotions after you've blown up at everybody else, trying to seclude you like your own little island. Because if you're fighting with everybody and then you're emotionally overreacting, means you're high in emotions, like you're deeply in your emotions. They wanted to strand you in the middle of the ocean with nothing around, basically. And it's because, and this is like where you start to realize, wow, their logic is lacking, because partially they thought you were selfish, and then partially they felt like you thought you were unworthy. So that's contradictory, especially in this scenario where they're using the triggers that they know they caused in you because they caused the wounds that is being triggered. The selfishness here is them saying the quiet part out loud. They think you're selfish because once you found out about their shit, you cut them out of your energy. So now you're selfish for literally protecting yourself. Okay? Unworthy is how they really feel like you are. And they feel like you believe you're unworthy because they poured into you beliefs of unworthiness for yourself. They purposely tried to make you feel unworthy and then said, aha, that person feels unworthy. Well, no shit. And again, selfish, they have no other reason to call you selfish, because unworthy, if you are someone who's acting unworthy, it's not that you're very boastful and this is me and I'm great. That doesn't align with unworthy. So what is selfish about you? The fact that you pulled your energy back from these energy vampires. So, and looking at what they wanted to mess up for you, investments, Taurus energy. In the 3D, physical, life journey, and karma swap. Messing up your physical world until you got into the low enough vibration so they could karma swap you. Comfort, family, home, and foundation. Relationships, even growth with the tree there. Heart chakra. And the last one, expansion, which goes hand in hand with investor, but I take this investor more as people supporting you, where I take expansion more as you expanding on your own. So they wanted to stop both travel, luck, beliefs, and seeking, Jupiter energy. So yeah, they basically are going to learn a lesson of why you don't do that to other people, because they're going to get a wake-up call where they suddenly realize that they are very unworthy of all the good things that they do have, because they only got them by stepping on other people. And if they've been dabbling in magic especially, once they start projecting that feeling of unworthiness themselves, add that in with the karma they created, wouldn't want to be them. You blank because blank and now blank. You are holding yourself back from releasing some kind of passionate message. It feels like something that you need to say passionately as opposed to like love passion, like something that has some oomph behind it. Because, well, there's the fire. Because you're resisting a new beginning, or because you're fearing what would happen with a new beginning. Maybe you are in one of those, once I step into this, there's no looking back, or something to that degree. But now, the death and the rebirth is here. So either you're going to willingly step into it, or it's going to willingly step into you. Password? Sometimes you have to lose control to get to that, to get through the threshold to that next chapter. This is about giving up control and stepping into your divine purpose, or where you're being led or called to. Putting down the burdens. You have to feel your feelings. That's what the giving up control is. you are not fully feeling your feelings because you want to stay in a state of control, you have to put them down. Once you put them down, it's almost like, you know how when you have the Sims, like the video game, you can make them walk and stuff. Your higher self making you walk is when you feel your feelings and emotions and don't avoid them, because you have to put them down. Independence. And look, red light, stop, green light, go. Your higher self is like, yes, I said what I said, listen. So I do this often with my oracle deck, but not usually with tarot. But I'm going to put 2 piles here, and we're going to look at a conversation between someone that was up against you, that was active in being up against you, and someone who was like an outsider but privy to like inside information. Let's see. So this one will be, this is going to be the person who was against you. So person who is against you starts the conversation by saying them trying to sacrifice you was a big old fail. Person 2 says, in what way could you draw this person back into their past behaviors to get them to successfully be this position? Person 1 says, well, I tried to get in their head, but I was unable to get in. I pulled some hairs, I annoyed them a little, but I was I was unable to get in. Person 2 says, are you able to somehow affect their income or something money-wise? Person 1 says, I already tried to manipulate that situation, and because the person is now aware of how I was doing it, I'm not able to do it in that way anymore. The other person says, is there a way that you can ruin their reputation in public? Person 1 says, I already tried that, and that failed too. Not complete fail, but failed by the way of people that were fooled are not fooled anymore. Then this person says, well, you're going to have to prioritize figuring out what to do here, because everything is going to fall apart for you if you don't. Person 1 says, it's already falling apart. Person 2 says, what are you going to do? You got to amp up the pressure. You got to change the tone of what's going on. Person 1 says, this person is a little bit too independent to be able to mess with them in the way that I need to. Because if I affect their social life, they don't really seem to care. They're fine without it. If I affect their money, they find something else to do. If I affect their love life, they just are able to move on. So person 2 says, what about their mind? How can we get in their mind? Person 1 says, yep, tried that too, and I got in there, and then they found out and kicked me out of it. Person 1 says, what other seeds can we plant now? What are we going to do? Person 1 says, I got no freaking idea. Person 2 says, is there anything legal that we could get them wrapped up in? Person 1 says, there's nothing that they're hiding. Person 1 says, I guess we better be very cautious about what we say now. Person 1 wraps it up by saying, we celebrated a little bit too early. Person 2 says, that's what you do when you're a fallen angel. I learned a very important life lesson today that I'd like to share with you. If you ever injure one of your limbs and it still feels like stuck in place, specifically like your wrist, but I guess this applies for other things too, go to the chiropractor. Because this man, I explained to him what happened, and I've been going to him for a long time, so I trust him to do this. I don't know if I would trust someone I didn't know to do this. So maybe like get a regular chiropractor as well, because that's important. But I explained what happened because I haven't been there in a while. And he like did some wavy arm magic, pulled on some things, adjusted some things, and he said, yeah, you have 8 bones in your wrist. One was just out of place. So that's why my wrist was literally still stuck. And now it's fine. I mean, it hurts like shit, but it's fine. So go to the chiropractor. Also, 10 out of 10. Have a good day. You have someone here who's very upset that their lies about you are not working anymore. There, my voice comes back. It's interesting because the second card is the King of Swords, and it's right next to Justice upright. So you're using your voice, you got your voice back, and someone is feeling like they have to be in a constant state of, oh crap, when is this going to blow up on me? Quite literally feeling like they're being haunted. And actually they probably are, and it's everything that they tried to send to you returned to them. Crazy how that works, right? They didn't look that far ahead though, so they didn't anticipate it actually going this way, because they thought for sure that you were going to fall into the trap and this was not going to happen. But Spirit came in for the assist and you didn't fall into the trap. They're very upset. But it's weird because it's almost like they're upset at the fact that after everything they put you through, they couldn't make you turn around and beg for their love. How sad, right? So you cut someone out of your life because they deserved to get cut out of your life. They did you dirty. This person was someone that you considered family, or at least considered one of the few people that, even if you didn't trust them yet, you felt like the potential for true trust was there. And since you have a big heart, you're still wondering how this person's doing, but you don't really want to reach out to them because you put that boundary there. So this is how they are doing. It does seem as though, whereas initially they weren't able to really look forward, now they're creating some kind of plan forward, but they're only doing it out of spite to get you to be like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have walked away from this person. So it's interesting because quite literally they want to forget you because you hurt their ego and you triggered that wound in them. What wound is that? Oh, the wound where they can pretend that other people are the problem and they're not. That one. You triggered that one, and so the person wants to absolutely forget you, but also at the same time, you are this person's motivation right now to get their shit together simply so they can turn back around and be like, haha, which is quite counterproductive to trying to forget you. So anyway, this person is having trouble though getting the motivation to actually complete the plans that they have. It's like third eye, they're good, probably because they siphoned some of that energy from you, because your third eye is what allowed you to look ahead and be like, no, thank you, buddy, I'm gonna go now. And now because they siphoned energy from you, their third eye, they're good, they're visualizing it. They still have some of your energy juice for that, but they're not able to actually action it because they're stuck in victim mode. They're doubting themselves and their ability to not fall apart the second something goes wrong. And it's because they are so upset about having to look at their own shit. It's almost like you were the subliminal scapegoat in their mind for future faking. Like if something went wrong, they were going to be able to blame you for it. But since you walked away and wiped your hands clean of it and you were like, you're going to go your way, I'm going to go mine, have a nice life, they aren't able to use you as the scapegoat, and they're realizing that they're going to actually have to take responsibility for their own shit, and they don't love it. They don't love it at all. The 3D card. Their physical reality is giving them karma. Oh well. We're looking at what in your life needs to go into the spam folder. So what needs to be kind of ignored, pushed to the side, and not given too much of your energy. This is interesting because we start with the Queen of Swords and end with the Queen of Cups. And in between, we have the King of Cups in reverse, but the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So it seems like there is a very imbalanced person in your energy. If it's a masculine, they're in their feminine energy, or vice versa. But this person has a lot to say with nothing to back it up. And this person is kind of moving forward, not on the best path when it comes to this. This person needs to be put in the spam folder of your life, because what this person threatens to do, maybe not like literally threatens, but what this person can do is mess up something that you're working really hard on, or something that you're very committed to, by releasing something about you. Because remember, this person likes to talk with nothing to back it up. It's manipulation, and it's manipulation to lure people into getting them to believe whatever the narrative is that this picture is painting, or whatever this person is trying to paint narrative-wise. They want to make you look lazy, like not a hard worker, or like you've been handed everything. It could go that way, or it could be if you're having hard times, it's your fault type of thing. Yeah, King of Pentacles and the Star. That gives me the image of like daddy's money. So basically they're trying to take your hard work away from you by making it seem like it was handed to you, it was luck, it was because you have some kind of connection or privilege or something. Anything besides it was your hard work. Anything besides it was your hard work. Hermit in reverse. Anything but you to attribute for whatever is coming together for you. So that person needs to be put in the spam folder. There's also a dynamic going in your mind that's not serving you. It's almost like running on a hamster wheel, like you can't get away from the energy. And it's like sometimes you feel balance, and it's because you've stopped thinking about this thing that's causing this war in your mind. Oh, that came out quick. Cycles. Opportunities with efforts. Energies attract. Struggles, tension, challenges, frustrates. Yeah, see, I said it's like sometimes you're in the balance and sometimes you're not. So you go through cycles of being encouraged, seeing the opportunities, even if it takes a lot of effort, and you attract that positivity to you, but then it's like a roller coaster up and down. You get kind of in the down part of the cycle, and then you kind of face these tension, challenges. It's discouraging, I guess you could say, because you feel good when you're in that up part of it, but then you get kind of, that makes me think of like rock bottom, like the black box, just like dropping you down. It's like such high highs for a short-lived time, and then boom, drop down. Why is that happening? Seven of Swords and the Devil. Why is that happening? The devil's doing it on purpose because he knows that he's not able to stop you. All he can do is frustrate you. He can't stop you from getting what you want, and that's not what he wants. He wanted to dig up your roots and make you feel desperate, and he's not able to do that. He wasn't able to get you out of self-love. That's what he needed to do, get you out of self-love to stop the wheel from turning. But you stepped into self-love, and then his plan, as in the devil's, wasn't able to come together. Does anything else need to be put in the spam folder here? King of Wands, or King of Swords, Queen of Wands, and the World, all in reverse. Something needs to come to an end, but you're resisting letting it come to an end. And it has to do with someone else's words about you, to you, something, and how you present yourself socially. So this is like the butterfly is going from the cocoon into the butterfly, but like resisting it. Like someone's trying to like prevent the butterfly from blooming. You're already the butterfly. So even if you're smushed in the cocoon still, you already have the wings. You just have to let them out. And it's time. This is going to be an email from your spirit guides.
You got mail.
Oh, told you. Okay, let's see. They start off with saying, you're doing good. Okay, with what? Doing good work. All right. So you're a light worker and they're happy about it. What else do they want to say? You belong. Okay. Oh, you're a light worker and fighting evil and you belong here. That's very direct. Have a good day. This is not going to be for everyone. This is about a karmic mother who is stuck in a wounded masculine energy and wanted to have their divine child injured, or more specifically, jumped. So again, not for everybody. This particular karmic mother was setting up a massive tower situation to try and pull the divine child into their wounded masculine energy. They first needed to get them in their masculine energy. So if this is for you, you will have been pulled more into your masculine, action-oriented energy during the time frame of this unfolding, because the karmic mother is in her wounded masculine, and this karmic mother needed to get the divine child to a certain point on their journey, have them in the probably wounded feminine, and then switch into that divine masculine as a healing mechanism from the wounded feminine. So the action orientation that was created from healing the wounded feminine energy brought this person into that divine masculine energy. And again, male or female doesn't matter. It's just the energy that you're operating from. So the intent here was to go from a very low, allow to build back up to a high, and then crash. Because in order to do a karma swap, this wounded karmic mother energy, and it can be an aunt, it can be a sister, take it how it resonates. This person wanted to try and steal the divine child's light by a karma swap. They needed to match energies just momentarily and then create havoc to bring the vibration low enough of the divine child to karma swap. So this karmic mother, and I use that term loosely, that karmic mother had to bring this divine child into the divine masculine energy by kind of creating a blockage in the life, and then releasing the energy that was being used to build the blockage, and allowing a flow so that person could be in their divine action oriented energy. So then that tower moment could be created, and this person would, in the karmic mother's eyes, hopefully fall low enough in vibration that they could just temporarily be on the same level in order to do this karma swap, and then the divine child would be stuck with the karmic mother's nasty energy. This karmic mother is just very ego-driven, money-driven, like has no soul. Like there's like a little bit left, but it's like one little night light on in like an entire mall. Like it's there, it's lighting up some room, but not very much. And basically this karmic mother wanted to steal the divine child's light and you do it for harm, use harm with it. So basically take light and opposite transmute it. I don't even know how that works, but like turn the light into darkness, but with the force of the light. This person is very, very dancing with the devil, BFFs, like needs to actually be in the tower for the tower moment to get a wake-up call. Like, that's the only hope here. And this person took pride and joy not in the divine child, but in their harm that they brought to the divine child, in the way that they blocked the divine child and then laughed about it, in the way that they sent the divine child black magic after unaliving spell, after relationship blockers, after money blockers, after every single blocker that this karmic mother could think of. And none of them worked because this child is divinely protected. That's it. That's the reading. This is part 2 to the karmic mother reading. I'm going to do 2 piles. One pile is going to be the karmic mother, and one pile is going to be a masculine energy that she's talking to about the situation after, let's say she just watched the video that I posted and now knows that she's totally caught and found out. So this would be a conversation that she's having with some masculine energy. The karmic mother. Oh. Feeling kind of glum, huh? She feels like I'm gonna have to start caring about what I'm going to do, because before I thought I had this protection because I swore that the karmic, or that the divine child was not protected. So now that I'm realizing that there's divine protection for this child, I'm in a big bind. The male says, or masculine energy says, yeah, that child is pretty protected. The karmic mother says, sure is. Don't know what I'm going to do now. Maybe I should say a prayer. Masculine, you're damn right you should say a prayer. You should probably say several prayers. Karmic mother, I don't know where to go and I don't know what to do because all of the plans that I put in place all really backfired pretty hard. Masculine, the masculine is encouraging the karmic mother to action her emotions. Basically, emotionally plea to the divine child. But not about the situation. It would be more like, maybe I'm not feeling well, I'm sick, or something like that. Like playing on your emotions in a different way other than being direct, but doing it for the purpose of trying to get out of the karma that they created for themselves. Yeah, that would be agreeance. That's how can I calm down the war in my mind. I'm going to pick the worst thing that's going on in my life right now, and I'm going to try and share it with the divine child to see if I can get back in their good graces. The masculine says, I don't know if that's going to work, but you can try it, because it kind of seems like this divine child's mind is made up. Karmic mother. Karmic mother is finally realizing that this divine child was the gift that they prayed for, and they tossed the child away. Masculine, oh, he's confirming the reversal of the family unit. The masculine is saying, hey, if you can't fix this, I'm going to have to start backing away from you because karma is going to smack you right upside the head. The mother, oh, The mother is fully aware that karma is tracking her down. Last card. It looks like that masculine is a little too involved too, and there's not really anywhere that they can back up, which is interesting because now we have a situation where this masculine does not want to be seen in public with this feminine. This masculine does not want anything to do with this karmic mother, but the karma is coming for both of them because they hurt the divine child. So you have someone from the past that wants to come back in. This person is unwell in the brain right now because of what they did to you. They're like, whatever the last thing you said to them is, they've been replaying that on repeat in their mind at least 3 times a day. And 3 is like a low number here. Like, it's probably much higher. Because you realize that this person was a fallen dark angel and you were like, no, I'm good. Goodbye. But this person, after you walked away, had a whole spiritual awakening, and now they're like, oh shit, what did I do? Because this person was trying to mimic or mirror your energy to you while acting like they weren't that spiritually wise, but they knew well enough to know how to mimic your energy to try and convince you that they were divinely sent, while full well knowing that they weren't, which is also part of their karma right now. Their whole life fell out of balance when you left. And whatever the last thing you said to them is, they can't, that's why they're unwell. They're not okay because of that one thing. It's almost like they have it as a background saver in their brain, and no matter what they do, they can't figure out how to change the background. The background is like a screenshot of the last thing you said. And it's probably after like the 100th time that they read that screenshot that they can't close out, that this spiritual awakening was triggered, because this person was very good at suppressing their feelings, running from them. And they even were able to do that with you to some extent until you were gone. And until you were gone and closed the door in such a way that you didn't slam the door, and the other person knew that you had the right to slam that door right off the hinges if you wanted to, but you didn't. You gently closed the door, and then you went to Home Depot and got every kind of lock that they had, and you put it all over the door calmly, and then you went on about your day, because what was not going to happen was that person was not coming back through that door. And this person, out of ego, wants to see if there's any possibility that they can get a key that would work in all those different locks. But because like they were standing outside the door, so they heard that you were putting locks on, and they were like, okay, I just have to get the master key. But you were wise about this, and you got all different brands, different styles, different shapes of locks. You even used some super glue. So like this person's not getting back in, but their spiritual awakening, it's interesting because they were trying to fake being divinely sent to you, but their spiritual awakening is like, oh wait, no, that person was actually divinely sent to me, and I made them have to shut and glue and lock the door. This is quite literally the purest example of you being walking karma. Like a tower moment walking karma, triggering a whole spiritual awakening, and then a death and rebirth mixed in with an ego. I don't even know what to call it. Ego gives up and just, I don't know, blows up. Play dumb games, win dumb prizes, eh? This is going to be an email from your ancestors.
You've got mail.
Let's see what they want to talk about. Family connections, laugh and have fun. So this email is going to be centered about how to reconnect to your roots by allowing yourself to reground yourself and have fun once again. Be in the present moment. Oh, you're holding back something that you need to say. There's a blockage, and once that blockage is released, you'll find it easier to reconnect to the people who want to support you, that are around you. What does the blockage have to do with? End of the road for something you were caught up in. Something that had you... Think of it as like you were in the back of the energetic police car, and then you got released, but you still have to express what you were holding on to. In the back of the police car, accident. You got dragged into something that wasn't your problem or responsibility or drama or something, and it's like you got put into the energetic police car and then released because it was like, what happened? Tell me about how this wasn't your fault. It was something that the other person did. But then there's this need to express how this whole thing made you feel in space, in your mind, in your heart. So basically there was a betrayal or something that you were almost dragged into that wasn't your problem, and you got out of the situation, but there still is energy that's creating a blockage internally because it needs to be expressed. And once you express it, you'll reconnect with people again. It's causing you to not connect with people because it was someone else's drama or troubles. So once you release how this whole situation made you feel, you've been released from the situation, but you need to release how it made you feel. Once you do that, you'll be able to have fun again and reconnect with people again, which is exactly what was taken away from you because of this. So it basically, the situation that you got out of now, but when it was beginning, that is the time period when you started to pull away and started to have less fun, be less present in the moment, and it's time to take it back. And let everybody see you take it back. There's someone here who is, I guess I'd use the word agitated. Agitated that you are no longer a people pleaser. Agitated that they no longer have the upper hand or power or control over your mind that they previously believed themselves to have. This was a big loss for this person because you were supposed to be the sacrificial lamb here, and that can't happen if you aren't living your life to please this person, because you would never agree to go along with certain things. You would walk right away real quick from this person because this person knows that they have nothing of value or substance to offer. That can be friendship, coworker, romance, whatever. They know that there's just nothing there to offer. And their only way to be able to offer anything to anyone was to take it from you, was to siphon it from you. And that required you to be a people pleaser, which you are no longer. And that's the truth. And it's also because you're speaking your truth that this person is like, oh, this person is no longer interested in people pleasing. They're no longer going to do that. And that was a tower moment for this person. That was a big revelation. And it was also the breaking of the whole foundation that they had built up in their plan that required you to be a people pleaser. And they didn't see you taking your strength back here. They expected this Five of Pentacles to stay upright and you to stay in struggle, but you found a way into the building out of the cold here. And early on in this, you didn't really prioritize yourself. And that's why you were being a people pleaser, is because there was this wound in you and you wanted to try and make it right by transmuting that energy. You wanted to try and heal it by transmuting that energy. So you weren't really people pleasing necessarily because of insecurity. While there may have been some in there, I'm not saying there wasn't, but this instance is more, I'm people pleasing because I'm in pain, I'm hurting, and I want to turn that into something good. And this person came and took advantage of that. So that's the lowest of the low that they could have done here. This is very grimy energy. I'm looking out for myself no matter who that requires me to have to step on to get my way. And this person didn't hesitate. They had tunnel vision. They had a one-track mind. And they're now recognizing and realizing that their plan is not going to work because their plan required you to basically fall into their trap willingly. Like, see their trap and be like, oh, that looks like a trap, but I don't want to disappoint you by not trying out your trap, so I'll do it. Like, it's giving delusional. It's giving this person literally sent out so much confusion, either spells or just intent to confuse, whatever. But when you didn't fall into that trap, it all came back to them, but like at once. And it broke their brain. Everything they sent out to try and confuse you, imagine all of that spread out over the period of time that you endured it, but imagine it all hitting at once. Yes, that's how they feel. And interesting that 10 of Swords came up because it's a self-betrayal. This person betrayed themselves. And this person is going to continue getting karma like this, it's all for self-love until they learn to love themselves. They're going to continue to get karma like this until they recognize that as this person continues to send out negative energy and thoughts towards you still, even after all this, they're not the most intelligent. They're only collecting more karma for themselves. So it's like in this position where you're going to have to realize that you're creating your own chaos, as in this other person. And until they realize that they're creating their own chaos, no fresh start. They're going to stay stuck in that intense pressure cooker energy. But again, it's like, yeah, until you stop resisting the death and rebirth. It's almost like they're in like an air fryer. And like every time they send out a negative thought or spell or whatever, it just like turns it up another and another and another and another. And they're like, man, it's getting really hot in here. You're turning up the heat. So until they realize that, they're going to continue to feel like the whole world is out to get them. Justice in the reverse, next to being very defensive, they feel like they're still trying to look for someone to place the blame on because they're doubting that this manipulation is coming from them. This can't be me. I couldn't have done this. Until they start to see, not the same two cards coming out. Until they start to see that they're causing their own problems, they're going to continue to experience problems. But this energy now is being directed back at them. So they're not going to be bothering you as much. If you're someone who became very tired during the last solar eclipse, and now it's a couple days after, or whenever you're seeing this amount of time after, or maybe some other celestial event, but you got tired because of something happening in the sky, the energies, right? And it's a couple days after, and you're like, why am I still so tired? It's because there's a download that's so big that's already happening but hasn't completed yet. Judgment in reverse, it hasn't completed yet. And it's very important. It's something to do with either something that happened within your family dynamic, home life. The download is essentially helping you make sense, giving you the last couple puzzle pieces. But it's almost like has to come in and scan all the puzzle pieces that you already do have first, so it can figure out what puzzle pieces to give you that will help you make the most sense out of it. So anyway, it's like a bigger download, and that's why it's taking so long. But you're tired, and you need to prioritize letting yourself be tired without guilt. Because whatever this is, it's huge, and it's not done yet. Like it usually downloads, it's like an instant thing. This is like almost like a reboot or you know when your computer runs like a cleaning thing? It's almost like that. Like your psyche is being dusted. Like when you dust your house, it's like your brain is being dusted right now so that you can complete this puzzle without having it not lay flat on the table. Like it's like if you can see the picture that's created by this puzzle, after you get these last couple pieces, it makes things that aren't even about this also make sense. So it's not that the information that you're getting is anything more than you can handle. It's just that, like, your higher power is making sure that everything you have so far will help you understand what's coming in. So there may be kind of like things coming to the surface that you're like, I was over that. Why am I even thinking about that? And then it's like you're kind of getting frustrated because you're like, is this happening because I'm tired? Am I cranky and like making myself in a bad mood? Like, am I trying to make myself in a bad mood because I'm cranky type of thing? You're not. It's these things are being purposely triggered to come up to the surface. You're not supposed to fight against it. It's not a punishment. It's basically just little reminders of, hey, remember you experienced this? Okay, keep that in mind. Hey, remember you experienced that? Okay, keep that in mind. And then all of a sudden you're going to be looking at this puzzle and you're going to be like, oh, I never would have remembered how that fit in if I wasn't just reminded of that event the other day, kind of thing. Because it's like backtracking, but for a purpose. Backtracking so that you come to this cycle of completion and everything makes sense. So basically what I'm saying is, don't get frustrated with your... Stay in your power. Don't get frustrated with yourself. This is quite literally shaking up the foundation so that you can truly understand the download. Don't doubt yourself. This isn't something that you're not strong enough to handle, but it is something that once you get this download, it's like, once you understand the download, it's going to be like there's a you before and a you after. Like, it's that important. It's that crucial. Inner child. Oh, you're getting access to repressed memories, but your higher power is making sure that you're ready for them first by testing you with things from the past. Self-love. It's a test of self-love. There's someone who wanted to study you since childhood. Basically, everything you say or have said was overanalyzed. See how she's like staring at her own reflection in the pentacle that she's holding up? There's a lot of situations that were caused in your life so that people could study your reactions or how you handled yourself in a position of high stress. This Queen of Pentacles wanted to take your truth and use it for themselves. So basically wanted to keep you in the dark about who you were while knowing who you were, but trying to keep that from you so that you could build up your power, and then they could take the built up power that you put in the work for, all while trying to keep you blind to who you actually are. They made a decision that they could not go back from, and it caused the whole plan to collapse because they put all their eggs in the basket of you never waking up to this. And you did, because you had a higher power that stepped in and said, hey, it's time for you to find out what you haven't found out yet. And it caused this whole train to derail. And now this person is stuck in regret with nowhere to go. And it's almost like they didn't even really get what they needed out of studying you because they got too wrapped up in the maliciousness of it and forgot that they were doing it to study you. Mysterious, transformative, and lustful. Yeah, it gives like really creepy energy. Like you were the mystery that they just weren't ever able to figure out, and it became obsession with like you, as opposed to initially it was meant to be studying your energy. Life's debt, karma. And now this person is reaping the consequences of their previous actions. That card to me is spell work. All of this person's spell work is going right back to them because you cut the cord. And again, they didn't even get out of it what they needed to get out of it. They needed you to give them something so that they could flip it and use it against you. And when you had the pain, you transmuted it. Yeah, you didn't rush forward with the pain. You sat with the pain, you looked at the pain, you said, what can I learn? How can I grow? In what way am I supposed to evolve? And in order for this whole plan to work, this person needed you to not do that. This person needed you to overreact, lash out, become who they were on the inside that they were trying to cover. And it didn't work. Again, because you had that higher power that stepped in and told you the truth about this person and made you realize that everything you say and do was being studied, evaluated, and it woke you up to like, okay, why? Why do they want to stop me so bad? Why do they want to end my forward progress so much? And then you finally started to realize it must be because I'm divinely protected and really powerful, and I'm not going to let them sacrifice me in the way that they think that they're going to. I'm going to create freedom for myself by cutting the cord. And you didn't do a return to sender, but that energy went back to sender. So if you see someone who you're questioning, I wonder if that person had anything to do with all the bad stuff that happened to me. Is that person feeling okay? Are they a little down in the dumps? Maybe they look or sound like they're starting to lose their mind. Justice is here. Those heavy burdens they sent to you found their way back to them. You shut the door on someone, and when this person had a place in your life, they thought that there was nothing they could get from you. And this is someone who they only value people for what they can get from them, like a narcissist supply type thing. And after you shut that door, this person was like, oh no, that was my adventure. That was what I asked for. But it's too late. And they didn't realize that until they saw you winning. So this person wants to try and use some kind of spell work to get inside your mind and like free you from the perception that you previously had on them that was the right one. It's like I want to plant seeds that this person doesn't see coming, as in you, to try and get them to change their mind. So if you all of a sudden, I'm trying to lure them back to me. If you all of a sudden are starting to think about this person again and you're like, should I reach out, or what's going on? Is this person maybe divinely sent? There's the person again. Is this person maybe divinely sent? It's not. It's trickery. Don't play the fool and give away what you have already worked to earn. This person may come back as like a last-ditch test. You know how like King of Cups, the person's going to come in and use their words to try and woo you. So you know how people are, you know how before you get like an upgrade or like something that you've been trying to manifest, you get one last test to see, do you really want what you want, or will you settle for less? Because if you settle for less, then you're not really all the eggs in the basket into what you know you deserve, because you're already putting the work for it. That's this. If you're Queen of Wands, Six of Pentacles, everything that you already put out is on its way back to you. You already earned it. You already earned that social position. But in order to step into it, you're going to be tested one more time. And you're going to... You just saw me split the deck. It's the same card. You're going to be tested one more time, and it's going to be with this person. And it's nothing to do with this person and everything to do with, you know you deserve more. You know you deserve more, High Priestess. Are you going to settle for less just because what is meant to come to you may be taking a little bit longer? Because that's part of the test. Are you going to keep it secure and be like, no, I'm not gonna backtrack myself into what I was already trying to get away from, because I know that what I actually want is on the way. Don't backtrack to the devil. The other day I did a series on a karmic mother, like a dark feminine energy. And so I'm looking into what her karma is going to be. I'm going to start by showing you the spread, because release of everything good, especially all those beliefs that made her do what she did, everything out of balance, a complete, the death and rebirth without the rebirth part until this person wakes up from all the betrayal, backstabbing, and dirty deeds that they did to the divine child who they tried to make seem like was not a divine child. All the while, they, as in the karmic mother, was the fallen dark angel. So in large part, this karmic mother, their hands are tied. There's nothing they can do. This is the release of all the good fortune or whatever monetary or earthly whatever that they got from this. Also, they're now coming to realize that they put all their eggs in the basket of this belief that wasn't even true. They were fooled by the devil. And now they're realizing that everything that they sent out is coming back to them, but tenfold, because they've had multiple opportunities where God pretty much tapped them on the shoulder and was like, hey, you're going in the wrong direction. You don't want to be doing this. And they were like, no, I'm going to keep going full gear. And with their betrayal, with everything they did, they didn't recognize that they were setting themselves up to be trapped in the karma of their own making when everything that they sent out comes back. In what way is it coming back to them right now? Oh. It's interesting because a big part of this person's karma is your success, is your healing, is you cutting the cord and being like, you should have chose better, but you're not going to break me. They are watching you very heavily. They're all up in your space. They see you as, it's interesting because they see you as like the lighter that could have helped them reignite the died down flame inside of them, but they refused to see your worth up until you were up on the stage, and they had already tried so hard to take it from you that they know there's no place on them on the stage with you now. Not reconnecting like old times. They know that door is closed. So what is the Wheel of Fortune reversed here? Oh, being trapped with the devil. Wheel of Fortune reversed, their karma, quite literally, their bad karma is that they're now trapped in the hell of their own making. Have a random example that kind of reiterates how powerful our brains are and how we tell them what power to put themselves on, right? So we can kind of dull ourselves down by thinking we're not that powerful, or we can amp it up by reminding ourselves of our power. I have a terrible memory, like awful memory, and I can never remember the 3 digits on the back of my card. And I don't have my card always with me because I have it in a wallet case, so like sometimes it's in my car or somewhere else, and I was always getting very frustrated that I could not remember these numbers, right? So I started telling myself it's my password. Like, it's not my 3-digit code on the back of my card, it's my password. It's my card password. And simply just changing that word from 3 digits to password, because password you remember, right? Haven't forgot it since. Your brain is very powerful, and you are in control of the mouse and the keyboard. You tell it how powerful it is. So don't dull yourself down just because the world tries to make us think that we're less than we are. The other day I did a reading about if you were still very tired since the recent sky events, and it feels like it's lasting like a prolonged period of time, there is a major download coming in for you, and that is why it's like integrating and doing all the stuff it has to do. So I got mine yesterday. If you saw my last couple of videos about the blueprint, that was my big download. I got it on the way home from the gym, and usually I've been working till about midnight, which probably isn't good, but anyway, last night I got home, I took a shower, and I was literally out cold by 9 o'clock, like in another zone completely, no longer on Earth. So This is a pretty big download, so I'm pulling cards to see exactly what the timing, like why now type of thing. It seems as though before there was something that you weren't seeing all the way clearly. You know that game where it's like a tower and there's like a bunch of sticks in it, and there you put marbles in and then you pull the sticks and then however many marbles fall, like that's the image that I'm getting here. And there was one stick that was stuck in place and it wasn't able to move until you were able to see clearly through a lie that was ingrained in you by someone else on purpose. So essentially the download was the coding that helped remove that stick, that helped the rest of the marbles fall. And you earned that because you grounded yourself and you realized what was actually important: self-love. Self-love and death. You had a death and rebirth that helped you align with the self-love that was previously not 100% accessible because of that one stick that was in place that had to be removed. It was causing you to see something from not the all the way right perspective or perception. And it may have something to do with family, or at least it's something that was affecting your comfort in your own body or home. Like you weren't all the way able to fully ground yourself because this one stick was making you believe that you were unworthy, or that you had to continue to run from something, or however that translates to you. The stick was removed, the marbles fell, the marbles triggered a download, and you earned it. And it's a lot of information, but you're not meant to be afraid of it because it was what was previously keeping that true abundance from you. And now it's out of the way. This death and rebirth is here because you've stepped into self-love. And you had to prioritize sharing more what you were previously keeping in, but in a different way than how you were doing it before, almost to show like the graduation. Ace of Cups came out, almost to show the graduation. Essentially that removal of the stick, one of those marbles that fell was your holy grail, was your ticket, or was your key to unlock that door to go into the next several chapters. And now that you've unlocked one door, you have the key that unlocks the next 5 doors. So you can experience what you need to and then go to the next door on your own time. You're no longer on the timeline of having to do things slowly. Yeah, freedom, because you weren't convinced to turn around and look backwards instead of continuing your mission forward. Yeah, the star in reverse. You weren't convinced to stop. Basically, you had a lot of recent tests that showed you that you're able to persevere and push through everything that was trying to stop you. And because of that, your higher power was like, okay, it's time to remove this stick. It's time for these downloads. Because you decided to face your pain instead of running from it. And to some degree, you were still doing that up until this point, up until recently, whenever the shift occurred. And that's what triggered the death and rebirth. And because the death and rebirth was then on the table, you were able to have that stick removed, the marbles all fell, and now you have your holy grail. You probably had 10, 20 marbles fall, so you have to kind of integrate all that information and knowledge, but when you get to one of them, you're going to be like, oh wow, wait, that's the key. Congratulations. This is going to be a channeled cord cutting. We're going to ask your higher self for the exact codes that will help you delete anyone's energy from your movie, from your life movie, that does not belong in it going forward. So higher self, can you please, getting right down to it, okay, alert us of anyone who is trying to keep us bound or stuck to our past selves. Show us the people that are for us so we have some love to fill in the space that is going to be left by the removal of anyone who was previously in our lives but was working against us. Help us to see clearly which direction to go next. That allows us to use the lessons that we've already earned, as opposed to needing to repeat lessons from the past that we no longer need to repeat. Help us show where any final decisions need to be made in terms of cutting off access to our energy for anyone who is not really in support of us behind the scenes. Show us what energy we are carrying that is not ours to carry and how to put it down. Show us what battles we've been fighting for a long time that need to come to a conclusion because we've completely learned the lesson that was needed to be learned from it. Help show us in which ways we are resisting any death and rebirth that needs to occur, especially in terms of mindset or internal dialogue. Help us realize in which ways we are working against ourselves as opposed to helping ourselves to heal, mend, and move forward. Show us in which ways we are holding back what needs to be said in order to release any blockages, especially ones that we've been holding on to for a very long time. Help us to get the proper rest that we need so that we can integrate and understand all the coding and messages that we're getting during the day and in our dream state. Help show us in which ways we are not projecting our authentic self for fear of rejection, abandonment, or being judged too harshly. Help us step in to our truest, most authentic, unapologetically ourselves version so we can take back our full power. I'm going to do a reading on whatever card comes out. Closure is a scam. Accept what they did and move on. So what do we need to know about this? What happened here? The Moon, Queen of Cups, and Judgment. Somebody was playing with your emotions and you found out and called judgment. Said, no more, no thanks, not going to be here for that. What do we need to know about this now? King of Swords reversed, 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. This person is stressing, but they don't know what to say because they know that there's not anything to say that is actually going to make any impact or effect. So basically, you owe it to yourself to just move on without hearing anything from this person, because in this instance, this person is very self-serving. We have the Hermit here next to 2 of Wands reversed. This person is having an ego wound that's being very triggered because they feel as though they need you to chase after them, okay? And that's probably not going to change. They're very, very stressed in their head about it. They need you, and now it's coming up with a false start. So they're not moved on. You just aren't going to hear from them because it would hurt their ego more when their ego's already wounded. So if you're looking for closure, from this person and you're thinking of reaching out to them to get it, don't do that. Avoid that disaster. Don't do that, because it's only going to feed this person's ego, and that's what they want. They want you to reach back out to them, which is why they're not reaching out to you. So your closure should be knowing that this person still is not seeing you for you, is not seeing your heart. They don't care to release. They don't care to speak on what they could say to you. Their karma is going to catch up with them for this. And you don't need to be around when that's happening, because they threw you away and they're now admitting with their behavior that they know they hurt you, and they're trying to use that against you. They're trying to lure you back in by not saying anything to you. They're trying to lure you back into them because they think you'll need closure just so they can get that ego boost. So that in itself should be your closure and your freedom. They betrayed you with their full chest, but they're backtracking now. Justice and the Lovers in reverse. They realized that they made a decision that was only working against themselves, racking up a lot of bad karma here. They're backtracking now. They weren't able to unground you and keep you stuck, even though, as I said, they played it with their full chest. Their karma is now coming for them because they have to realize in a public way that what they presented as fact about you is being disproven. They're going to have to go back and readdress it because they were very wrong. And they thought that you were not divinely protected. But nothing less than the Holy Grail came out when I said that. So they were wrong about that too. So basically lights out on their whole plan because now there's nothing that they can do. And they realize that they're backtracking really, really hard and they're trying to cover their tracks. They're trying to lay low behind the scenes so that people can't see what's going on. They're trying to not be in the conversations so that they don't have to pick a side because they can't pick your side because they went against you for so long. How can all of a sudden they be on your side if you were this horrible person? But everybody else now is on your side. So they can't be on your side. That would undo all the work and commitment that they had to making you look like a bad person. But they can't go against you now either because they finally realize that karma has arrived and they don't want to rack up anymore. They don't have that divine support and protection like you do. And they also don't have people. High Priestess in reverse, as I said that. Spirit's like, no, they don't have that support or protection. And it's interesting because the monster has quite literally come up from underneath the bed and is just laying right next to this person now. And they know every time they say another word about you, the monster's right there. They don't have to wait for karma. Karma's in bed with them. They made their bed and now they're quite literally lying in it. Play dumb games, win dumb prizes. This is for those that know that they have a copycat energy out there. Someone who's literally trying to become them. It's giving creepy. Anyway, they are unable to do this because all the pieces fell apart. What made them fall apart? Oh, their betrayal and lies exposed. You mean the betrayal and lies where they were pretending to be you and they just were not. That's probably what killed it for them, huh? That was the bullet that shattered the whole window of their glass house, huh? Oh. So even all the people who are close to this person are now seeing, wait a minute, this was never your personality. This was you trying to be someone else, as in them trying to be you. Another thing that killed their whole plan, huh? A lot of ending here. What else is ending for this person? So the monster is coming out of the sea here and preventing their flow. Does that mean that they're no longer able to access your energy, to embody it? Oh, time's up. I just saw a quote and it said, you can't get mad at people for continuing to suck the life out of you when you keep giving them the straw. Feeling defeated, feeling like you're carrying the burdens of other people in addition to your own, because they're not helping you out by carrying yours as well. They just want you to carry theirs. And they don't care how it makes you feel. This is about not being selfish it's actually very selfless to take care of yourself in that way, because you're saying, I'm pouring out to the wrong people, and I want to make sure that I'm mindful and create boundaries and keep those boundaries so that I still pour out, so I have that energy to pour out, but to the right people who are deserving of it. This is about being very mindful. Yeah, High Priestess. Being very mindful of who you allow access to. It also reminds me of the other quote that says, it's time to remind people that it's a privilege to be in your life. Queen of Pentacles, nobody should be too secure in their spot if they're not going to earn it and treat you right. King of Wands, it doesn't matter if they're blocking your path forward, if they're blocking your action. Empress, it doesn't matter what their position, they need to not be able to access your energy in the same way. Justice. You have successfully made people have to shut their mouths that have needed to shut their mouths for decades and haven't, because they've never been in a position where they needed to, or else they look really dumb. But you had some higher protection here that helped you get your strength back and realize that these people were only holding you back. They weren't for you, they were against you, and they were simply trying to stop your progress because they didn't have the divine protection that you had. Because before you even came into the picture, they had already went and messed up their life. And they needed to take your light to be able to fix it. So before you even were in the picture, you were already the villain. This was never about you. This was always about that divine protection that you had, that they had, but then lost because they chose to fall into a fall from grace. This is like you had it and you lost it, and now you're locked out in the cold. These people made bad choices. They chose to summon the darkness. The cards came out like that. She chose to summon the darkness. They called in the problems that they're now having, and they're still blaming you. They just can't say that out loud because they finally have to admit to themselves. She's literally looking at her reflection in the pentacle. They have to now look at themselves and realize that you weren't actually the problem. They were the problem, and their only problem with you was that they could not make you become the problem, because the problem already existed before you. The problem was them. You know what I find most idiotic about the people that betrayed the collective that is now dealing with the karma of doing so? They wanted to scapegoat us so much, right? And now that they're sitting in the karma that they created, which is basically what they sent out, came back when you didn't fall into the trap. And as they sit there, still trying to blame you, somehow, some way, they still refuse to acknowledge that all this sadness and grief that they now feel is a minuscule version of what they sent to you, because their karma hasn't hit yet fully. They're just in the appetizer version. And they can't even make it through that. And you know what's crazy? What triggers that next course to come? The course after the appetizer? That comes the second they get the realization that what they put you through is more than they'd be able to handle. It's instant karma. As soon as their brain finally accepts that realization, that's when karma hits. And you would think, well, why don't they just avoid that then, right? Because they're continuing to add on to their karma in that lower vibration until they get into starting to transmute it and be able to work it out. They can't get there until they acknowledge everything they did to you. All the manipulation, betrayal, attempts at karma swapping, spell work, everything they sent to you. They literally can't even start working off their karma until they acknowledge out loud in their own mind, oh shit, I sent out much more than I'm able to handle. This is for you if you got heavily betrayed in private but transmuted it in public. This is how the people felt as they watched you do this. They felt very defensive. They felt like they were, like, almost, the example I'm getting is if there's like a brick on top of someone's foot while they're on the gas pedal and they like can't get their foot off and they're panicking. It's that. It's like, well, it's your car and you put your foot on the pedal and you dropped the brick, so what do you expect to happen? But at the same time, it's like, I want to get my foot up, but I can't because it's already set in motion. As you revealed pieces of the past, things in this person's life started to fall apart in a way that aligned with the truth that you were publicly telling. So it's almost like people who may have been on the outside looking in like, oh, I wonder if that applies to that person. They can look at the person that you were referencing indirectly and say, wait a minute, their life is starting to fall apart. This is starting to show. That's starting to show. But that other person, the one that's telling their truth, their life is starting to elevate. It's starting to get better. That looks like karma. So people are starting to pick up on this, that what has been sent out is now coming back. They're now recognizing and realizing that you were actually on the receiving end of all the bad stuff that they were claiming that you were doing to them, simply to cover up the fact that they were doing it to you. Justice is here. This is going to be a they thought they could reading. And it's essentially going to be about all the things that they thought that they could do to you that they horribly failed at, because you're divinely protected. They thought they could get you to act out of character by luring you into a situation beyond your control. You kept your cool. They thought they could get you so down in the dumps that you stopped looking for the light. And you did at one point. And then you realized it wasn't all the way out because the light existed within you. And you didn't need their permission for it. They thought they could future fake you into a future that wasn't actually meant for you, and they knew that. Trying to send people into your life to try and get you stuck with them just long enough to veer you off path. You saw through their bullshit. They thought they could break your heart and leave it in a million pieces all over the floor and just have it stop beating because it was in pieces, but it kept beating because you were divinely protected, and every time you bent down to pick up another piece to put it back together, they realized a little bit more their plan was going to fail. They thought they could get you. It's funny because this card, usually they're all up fighting, but they're sitting down. Even the tarot card is agreeing with me. They thought that they could get you to fight in battles that would keep you away from your purpose. Very shallow, narrow-minded things, and you just weren't interested. You just kept moving forward, one foot in front of the other, and now they're the ones who feel defeated, not you. They thought that they could steal your light and prevent you from sharing it in a public setting. Oh, how wrong they were. I just saw a quote and it gave me a download about some things that are going on with the collective right now. That's very interesting. It said there are so many broken children living in grown-up bodies mimicking an adult life. I think that as a lot of us come into our spiritual maturity and retake our divine authority, it's making a lot of these wounded children that are hiding themselves in adult bodies have to face themselves. Because if we were the villains, but our lives are getting better, and maybe not in the 3D, but you can see our spiritual evolution on the outside. And they are lacking that. So it's making them have to wake up. They don't want me to say this. It's making them have to wake up to the fact that they aren't going anywhere. They're stuck in place. And the grand revelation here is that all these wounded children now need the help of those that they hurt. Those that the pain that they caused pushed into needing to go through a dark night of the soul. We chose to face it while they chose to run from it. We chose to face ourselves while they chose to throw everything at us that they could so they didn't have to face themselves. Of course we trigger them. We're the only people who can help them spiritually mature now, because who else is going to do it? We're going to be asking your higher self for the codes needed to move forward into the next stage of your purpose. Higher self, can you please help us to identify whatever is infecting us with any venom that's keeping us from seeing our purpose very clearly, anything that's blocking the light. Can you help us find proper retribution for what has been done to or against us so that we can release it and not have to carry that burden with us? Can you help us identify and properly handle anyone in our lives who is not being honest with us? Can you help us step into anything that's still remaining so that we can rebirth ourselves, specifically when it comes to our inner child? Can you help us heal any wounds left by our family or close people to us by helping us find the right ones and to support ourselves? Can you help us see that we're right where we need to be to get to where we want to go and that we're not behind? Because everything that we've done has been a breadcrumb to help lead us back to where we get to excel, be abundance, and succeed. Can you help us uproot anything that's keeping us stuck in place that doesn't need to come with us into the next chapter? I almost said chariot. And can you help us see what gas we need to put in our energetic engine so that we can get to that next chapter after we release anything that needs to be uprooted? And can you help us see very clearly anything that still needs to be acknowledged, healed, and transmuted so that we can cut those strings from underneath of our hot air balloon and finally finish our next step of ascension? If you are someone who feels like there's recently been a renewed effort to send spell work your way, but like in a different way than how it was done in the past, it's like go big or go home this time. The Emperor. It's like go big or go home this time. And it is an attempt to attack your finances, but it's not because of your finances. It's because of either what your finances are allowing you to do, the platform they're allowing you to have, or the way that the position that you're putting yourself in is allowing people to listen to what you have to say. And there's people who don't like that. There's people who have a lot to say about that. And it's interesting because this time it's not unaliving spells, because they tried them and they failed, and now they're dealing with the consequences of them. So they don't want that smoke. That's a release. They don't want that. What it is, though, is trying to trigger your inner child wound through frustrations, blockages, speed bumps, kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's more of an annoyance to try and get you to not move forward as quickly, because they now realize that they can't stop you. So now it's just about slowing you down. Justice. They can't stop you. It's just about slowing you down. And the spell work that they're sending, all of them, the spell work that they're sending, they're being very cautious and careful about it now, and that's why it's annoyance. They have to stay very committed and send a whole bunch of little annoying things, because they now recognize that everything that they sent to you that was really bad, they're now dealing with in a different form, but they know why they're dealing with it. They know it's because they sent something to you, and they know it's because they don't have the protection that you have, and they know it's because of your protection that they're dealing with it. The Star. They know. And because they now know you're divinely protected, they still have to try and stop you from figuring out the last remaining pieces of what they did, because they feel as though once you find out, you're going to speak on it in a way that they won't be able to come back from. And they're probably right about that, because there has to be a first time for everything. So it's their first time to be right, because that they're right about. You will speak on it in a way that they won't be able to really have a rebuttal for, because the truth is in plain sight. So have no fear, because you have officially defeated them, and them doing this is just showing that to you. All they can do now is poke a wound that they know you've been working very hard to heal anyway. So, okay, show me how healed I am. Show me where more healing needs to be. If that's your attitude right now, they're not going to be able to even slow you down like they intend to. They are afraid to send you anything that would actually harm you, because they know now for certain that's just signing up to harm themselves. They know about your divine protection now. The only thing they can do is annoy you. You won. There's something about being a psychic that no one can prepare you for. The part where you get to the unlocking of a lot of repressed memories. You get a lot of information about things that happened that you were unaware of at the time when they happened. I think the hardest part is when you have to look someone in the face that you still have love for, knowing that you're aware of all the dirty deeds that this person did to and against you, and you know there's no point in even saying anything, because you know that they know you know, and you know what you know. And you know that there's no way that you can help this person with their karma, regardless of the love you still have for them, because they need that lesson, so they don't repeat that same behavior to another person ever again. And you don't really want to say anything to them directly, because you know that karma is enough. But it's hard, because it's almost like you're seeing someone who's still alive and completely grieving their whole existence because they did something unforgivable and don't even have the strength or integrity to acknowledge it when they know you know. If you're wondering what the shittiest part of my job is, it's probably the only shitty part of my job, but that's it. That's it. This reading is for those that know that they were set up to be a sacrifice, that failed, and then the sacrificial lamb got moved to, let's say, a cousin or another family member. The person who set this up had to take a very hard look at themselves and figure out in which way can I make this so that I'm not the one that goes down. So there was several people around this ringleader that they could choose from. And they tried to choose someone who was not their right-hand man, let's say. They tried to choose, let's say, a cousin or something, as opposed to like a partner, for example. And when they came with this sacrificial offering in replacement of you, it was turned down. It was not accepted. So they had to go back to the drawing board and figure out a different sacrifice, a different option. And because that, for example, cousin wasn't enough, they realized that it's going to have to be someone more important to them, someone closer. So they offered up that partner, the one that was closest to them, the one that trusted them. And essentially they went to the devil and they said, okay, here, take this offering. I'm willing to offer up this person so that it's not me. And the devil said, you know what? That's interesting. It's interesting that you'll offer up all these other people, because what you owe me is more than what you're offering in pieces. You said that you would deliver this light worker and you were unable to. Comes in threes. When they send a spell your way, they get 3 chances to have you drop in vibration from that, at least in this example. And if all of them fail, that's cleared from you. The cord is cut from whatever they sent. This person, this ringleader, was too stupid to realize that those same rules applied in this instance. They offered up 2 other people as a replacement for their failed sacrifice of you. And when they went to the devil said, okay, cool. I need 3 to make up for the 1, so I'll take all 3 of you. So this ringleader, because they were too stupid to figure out the dynamics of the agreement that they entered into, now just got that hypothetical cousin, partner, and themselves all trapped in the mess that you did not fall into. All because you cut the cord. Yeah, I'm sure they're in big regret now. This is a weird reading. Definitely not going to be for everybody. There's someone from your past. This would be like colleague, friend, coworker, something in that category. It can be a lover, but more likely like a friend. This person wanted to be you, become you. Basically, this is the face card, like take your face, but like take your identity. They wanted to become you. But you didn't let them close enough to you, and you didn't even realize at the time that that's what they were doing, the whole I want your face thing, but like more than just your face, but like I want to be seen how you're seen. You didn't let them close enough to do that. And ever since then, they've been chasing you down like the boogeyman. And you had literal no idea about this, because this wasn't someone who was very important in your life, but it's someone who wanted to get you to release your secrets. But it was like before you knew your own secrets. It's like they wanted your secret sauce before you put all the ingredients in it. And they got really, really frustrated when they couldn't get in. This guy's like performing some kind of surgery to swap faces. Like, this person was deep in the dark magic to try and literally become you. And this was more than likely at least months, but more likely years ago. Like, you probably, if you're thinking about, oh, I wonder if it's this person, it's probably not even the first person you're thinking of, because this person was like very much so in the background. And this person can't get it together because they spent so much time trying to see if they could just throw one more thing at you to get you to break. And they wasted all of the energy that they could have been using on their own life, career, life trajectory, soul purpose. They didn't put any energy into that. They only put all this energy into trying to stop you so that they could get you low enough in vibration that they could take your energy signature. Look at that. It's like that guy and a statue. It's like swapping. Teamwork, but except you don't know that you're on the team. Hermit. Only one person in the team knows that it's a teamwork effort, because this person was trying to twins become you. And it failed, and they're not very happy about it. They're this energy right now. But they're now recognizing that all the spell work that they sent to you is coming back to them. Mask. All the face and mask. Their mask is coming off because they weren't able to embody your energy. They couldn't get your vibration low enough to do that. And because of that, wonder of the world and water. The monster has quite literally come out of the sea for this person. And there's nothing that they can do about it because they called this monster to attack you. And then when that failed, the monster said, okay, well, I'm still coming for payment. It's just that you're the payment now, as in the other person. Obsession. That's what it became. They became completely engrossed and obsessed with trying to become you, that they completely lost themselves. So now they don't have the cord that was attached to you, because if you don't know who this is yet, you're going to very soon find out, and you're going to cut that cord. Help me. And that monster is coming to collect, but not from you, because you're not the one who did this. Play dumb games, win dumb prizes. This is one of my favorite books, 33 Strategies of War. Let's see what channeled message we get today, huh? Focus on your greater goal, your destiny. The first step toward becoming a grand strategist, the step that will make everything else fall into place, is to begin with a clear, detailed, purposeful goal in mind, one rooted in reality. We often imagine that we generally operate by some kind of plan, that we have goals we are trying to reach. But we're usually fooling ourselves. What we have are not goals but wishes. Our emotions infect us with hazy desire. We want fame, success, security, something large and abstract. The haziness unbalances our plans from the beginning and sets them on a chaotic course. What have distinguished all history's grand strategists and can distinguish you too are specific, detailed, focused goals. Contemplate them day in and day out, and imagine how it will feel to reach them and what reaching them will look like. By a psychological law peculiar to humans, clearly visualizing them this way will turn them into a self-fulfilling prophecy. Have a good day. Let's do a little 48 Laws of Power today. What number should I pick? Oh, well, today's the 21st, so let's look at number 21, shall we? Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. No one likes feeling stupider than the next person. The trick then is to make your victims feel smart, and not just smart, but smarter than you are. Once convinced of this, they will never suspect that you may have ulterior motives. This can work in other ways too. It can work in the way where if you know that people are out to get you, you can play dumb until they fall into their own trap. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark until it's time to not do that anymore. Know how to make use of stupidity. The wisest man plays this card at times. There are occasions when the highest wisdom consists in appearing not to know. You must not be ignorant, but capable of playing it. It is not much good being wise amongst fools and sane amongst lunatics. He who poses a fool is not a fool. The best way to be well received by all is to cloak yourself in the skin of the dumbest of brutes. Basically, if you know there's a team out against you and you know you're outnumbered, sometimes you just need to play dumb and let them think that they're winning until you're ready to come out full swing with all that you have. Just some advice for the day. We're going to be asking our higher selves for any codes that are needed to clear any remaining shields that other people put around our energy. So if anyone has used magic, intention, whatever, to basically think of it as putting a paper bag over your soul so that your light was still on, but it was muffled because it was coming through a paper bag. So anything that needs to be done to remove that paper bag so we can authentically, unapologetically shine our light to the world. Higher self, can you please alert me of anyone who pretends to be for me just because of their title in my life, but is actively working against me. Give the codes, please, of anything needed to lift any barriers preventing me from being willing to jump forward into the leap of faith that must be taken on myself because I'm ready. Higher self, can you please give the codes so that I can look at myself in the mirror without wanting to run from what I see, because I'm proud of who I am and I'm ready to express that to the rest of the world. Higher self, can you please help to give any codes that would remove any blockages put on my intuition by an outside force using means beyond my control, but means that were not in their discretion or authority to be using. Higher self, can you please set me at the right degree so that I'm directly facing my destiny? Because I know that my destiny is not just for me, but it's to help others, and I'm ready to step into that fully. Higher self, I'm ready for that fresh start now. This is going to be they thought they had you because blank, but then blank. Let's see here. First, they thought they had you because they thought that your own mind would basically do 80% of the work in destroying you, and they just had to put in the other 20% and then they'd be golden. But you kind of figured out what was going on and figured out how to redirect your internal dialogue so that you weren't in a constant state of self-sabotage like how they wanted you to be. Okay. They thought they had you when they inserted a new path into your life, likely by the influence of an outside party that was not the right path for you. But she's looking at her reflection in the mirror. You did some very difficult inner work and realized that's not my path. That's definitely taking me in the wrong direction, and so is that person, so no thank you. They thought they had you when... This one's going to be different for everybody, but this could be a court case. This could be some legal trouble. Or at the very least, it is something that just felt like it was never going to end or find any resolve for you, and it was a very serious matter in your life. But you're the freaking magician. You recently cut a major cord with at least 2 people. This is a cord that they swore up and down that you would never actually sever, and you did. So person 1 is whichever one of these is the same sex as you, and person 2 is the opposite sex. If they're both the same, person 1 is younger, person 2 is older. Person 1. Person 1 is sitting there talking to person 2 about a download that they were trying to get from you before it got to you to prevent you from seeing clearly what they did behind the scenes to you or against you. But when this card is in reverse, it's my light at the end of the tunnel because the light's on top. They were unable to get what they were putting all this effort and energy into trying to steal. Person 2, mask off. Now the person, as in you, is knowing or about to know everything that they did. Corruption exposed. Person 1. Oh no. The mighty shall fall. Person 2. Yeah, that's about right. You're gonna see black and white, very clear, their dirty deeds. And the entire list of people that helped them cover it up. Both of them. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be them now, huh? They thought that as fired up as you were before was the extent of your ability to ignite. They thought, okay, let's let this fire burn for a little bit, see if it simmers down, and if it doesn't, we can at the very least study it, learn the dynamics of the fire, get to know the fire so that we have a fair shot up against it. You're the fire. Light at the end of the tunnel. So you could see that the end was coming for their ability to manipulate your environment, let's say. So they took one last swing at you, thinking, this'll do it. This'll get the flame to go out, because we studied this flame and we know the dynamics of it. It just needs a little bit less oxygen, and it'll for sure go out. But see, you were playing dumb in a lot of ways. You knew they were studying this flame, and you let them think whatever they want until they made that move. And instead of putting out the flame, alive in reverse, instead of putting out the flame, it ignited. Bigger, brighter, with more fierceness than ever before. Now their hands are tied because there's not a single person who can't now see the flame with how big they made it. That's all, that's the message. There is an ex here who watches your social media almost to the extent of it being like a second job that they don't get paid for. So anyway, you know exactly who this is. And you know because that's the same card. You know because you know. The person you thought of when you started hearing me talk about this, that's the right person. So how is this person feeling about your last, let's say, 10 posts? They feel like a fool child. They know that the fish out of the cup. They know that the secret's out of the bag. You have said something that has made it over the top obvious that you are not putting up with their ish any longer, and or that you know exactly what happened behind the scenes. Oh, look at that. The devil in reverse. When I said what happened behind the scenes. I guess it's not behind the scenes anymore. It's right out on the stage with everything else, huh? So anyway, this person has made a phone call to another party. Who the other party is not important. What they're saying is important. Your ex. Your ex is big scared that what you are going to say is going to cause action in their life through other people, because other people are going to see through their facade and they're not going to be able to put up this mask anymore. Basically, what you're saying is the truth, and they darn well know it. And they know that other people are going to know it too, because those cords have been cut and you don't really owe them any kindness, really, when they didn't show it to you. So what the person is saying to the other party, oh, justice in reverse. Probably something along the lines of, oh shit, I'm about to be all the way found out, aren't I? Look at that. Have a great weekend. I got a huge revelation in a dream last night about a type of spiritual identity theft that is taking place. And I'm not saying that this is the only method that this is happening, but I got shown this method very clearly. So what I was shown is this like 3-part attack on your Akashic records. Essentially, someone, before you are aware of your spiritual gifts or before they really set in, so probably childhood, purchases or bids on part of your Akashic records. In order to actually keep it from you, they need to kind of complete this 3-level, almost as if they break in and then have to get out of, imagine it like a bank vault. They have to then get out of the bank to take what they stole with them. So it comes in these 3 layers: spiritual, physical, mental. They essentially have to climb the ladder, getting past you kicking them out of your energy, to make it all the way into these records. And then after they get them, they have to take them out of your energy also without you being able to stop them. So gang stalking or setups and betrayals, it is essentially all to distract you and put down your defenses while these energy vampires that bid on access to your Akashic records try and sneak their way up the ladder and sneak their way all the way back out. That's why they try and keep the chosen ones so distracted, so that you are paying attention to other things and not recognizing what's happening internally. Now, there will be a lot of backstabbing, betrayal set up for a prolonged period of time as they're going up the ladder, because they start with those mental attacks and then it goes to spiritual, and then it goes up into your Akashic records. Everything comes in 3s in this example, because that's how it starts and that's how it continues. So basically, in each layer or each level, they have 3 chances to get through to the next one, and the same on the way back down, 3 chances. However, every time if they set up something for you to distract you, but you turn it around and look within instead of focusing externally, they lose a chance. And every time they lose a chance, you get another major piece of the puzzle, a spiritual download, because they're basically pulling on a string of your Akashic records. And if it doesn't go for them, it comes to you, because they're basically turning on that piece of information. And if they're not able to successfully hack or steal it, you get the download that's already in play. So they have to use their chances very wisely, because every time they fail at trapping, tricking, or stopping you, you get another piece of the puzzle. So you become stronger and harder to trap, trick, or distract. Now, the crazy thing is, these are your records. They belong to your soul's imprint. Basically, think of it like a thumbprint, but your soul. These people can't use what they're taking from you. They can only study it and keep it from you. Because let's say they have this card, okay? This is supposed to be yours. They can't embody this. All they can do is replicate it. So they can never be stronger with your power than you can be with your power. So essentially, that's why they go after us so hard, is because it's less about taking it for themselves and more about keeping it from you, which is why there's so many distractions and blockages and trying to keep you from realizing who you are, so that they have enough time to try and siphon it from you and embody it for themselves, knowing that it's never theirs to begin with. It's from your records, and they know that because they're doing all this work to break into your specific bank vault of your soul. So essentially, they know that no matter what, they'll never be stronger than you could be if you had what they were trying to steal from you, which is why they will do anything to stop you. So the attacks start on a 3D level before you really step into or recognize your gifts. That way they're already in your energy as things start to unfold. So you never really realize the full extent of your gifts until you kick them out, because there's always part of it blocked. It's almost like the dark side of the moon that they hide in your energy. After the 3D, it goes into the mental. This is usually when they use something in the 3D to keep you out of analyzing and trying to unpretzel what they have pretzeled in your mind. They try to confuse you. They try to psych you out. They try to scare you. That is so when they are going through that mind gate, you're not paying attention to it. You're paying attention to the 3D. And that's why they start to attack the 3D before you even recognize your spiritual gifts, because they're basically breaking into your energy without you even recognizing that that's a possible thing yet. That's why they start so early. And then when they're ready to move up to that spiritual, which is when they can eventually break into or hack your Akashic records and try and basically think of it like a line of coding that they try and remove out of your energy field so that they can have it in their energy field and study it and try to embody it, or at the very least keep it from you so that you're not more powerful than them. Then when they're ready to move into that spiritual, that's when they really start to attack your mind, so that you're then focused mentally and not trying to block them from spiritual theft. So basically, the mind is when they start to allow you to be aware that what they've been doing the whole time is ganging up against you, is spiritually and even physically attacking and blocking you, so that you're then focused on that and not the fact that they're up in there trying to take your Akashic records, trying to access something that's not their business. The thing is, though, if they're up there accessing that, it means that you have ascended high enough, which is why they still need to let you do your spiritual work, your spiritual evolution, why they can't stop it completely. They need you to be the one to ascend your energy. Think of it like those, the water park things where you shoot the water gun and the level rises of the water tower in front of you. They need you to get that all the way up so that you have enough power to access your Akashic records but then they can hack it. So they need to let you elevate and then boom, drop you down to rock bottom while they remain up there in your energy so that they can't be stopped by you being on the same level as them. So they want to rise up, allow you to rise your energy up, and then create tower movement after frustration, after blockage, so that they can remain up in your energy through black magic and you drop down so that you can't stop them. But here's the thing. If they try it and they fail, they only get one shot at that. If they permanently get kicked out, you now have access to everything that they were trying to do. So that's why it needs to be so perfectly set on stage so that when they're accessing your records, you're not there to stop them. Because if you are, you get access to everything that they tried to do. And they can no longer try shit because there's no chance of it ever working again. Spiritual identity theft. Someone came to you in a dream last night and tried to apologize to you for some stuff that they know that you're now going to find out about, except they cloaked this whole interaction so that you couldn't really remember it or see it clearly. But there was an exchange of energy to try and make up for the illusions, confusion, delusion that they sent to you. Essentially, someone came in to your dream and tried to tell you the truth about a lie that they've been keeping up for some time about you supposed to be the sacrifice, but it didn't quite work. It didn't quite work. So anyway, they came to you in a dream state to try and essentially get you to recode how you view them. And that's why they tried to cloak it. Basically, they're using the same old tricks, but they're trying to use them for good now because they know that they're all the way caught. Because their priorities pushed them to go big or go home. They went too big and now they're going to lose the home. They're going to lose whatever they were trying to gain out of trying to use your heart against you and take you down. So this entity, who is basically a child trapped in an adult body that uses their words to try and harm other people, and not directly to them. Typically they use those words and try and harm somebody by talking about them to other people. So this is basically the first time that this person has had to come directly to someone and apologize. And since they are not strong enough to do that in the waking hours, they tried to mask it in a dream state. And so they hopped into your dream so that you would recode the numbers of how you view this person so that when you woke back up, they wouldn't be the evil demon that they actually are. This didn't work because you were divinely protected in your dream. Usually this card doesn't have this second person. This is the after tarot. So now it has this person that's coming to free this person. You were divinely protected in your dream and this person wasn't able to come in and confuse you. But the funny thing is this person swears that they're doing this now for the right reason. So their lesson in self-love is going to need to really increase because they're still not getting it. They're not getting that if you are truly standing in the light, you don't need to cloak, hide, conceal, mislead your energy. You just come as you are. And this person really failed. And now they don't know what to do because they can't stay in your energy anymore. They've been kicked out because in order to do this, they had to fully identify themselves to you. That's why they did it in a dream state, because they didn't want you to remember. Because now that they're identified in your energy signature, it's like this person had a mask and a full body armor on the entire time they've been in your energy. And this is the first time they had to reveal themselves so that they could try and apologize to you. They had to do it when your walls were down in your dream state. And honestly, this was kind of a test from them to see the extent of your spiritual protection. Because if you were spiritually protected from this, it means that there's officially no way that they can get to you. They rolled the dice on this one last chance to confuse you, and they failed. Family card. You're getting the reward out of this now because you recognized that someone who disguised themselves very good in the 3D is actually a straight up demon in the spiritual. Congratulations. They're out of your energy now. There is a dark feminine who put spell work on you and it failed. And because it failed, it's now headed back their way. So they are dead set on convincing everyone that the return of what they sent to you, that is their own karma. They're trying to convince everyone that you sent them black magic. Oh, children. This person is a literal child trapped in an adult body. Dirty little secret in reverse. So secret's out here. Everyone is not believing this person's BS because they're seeing the situation for what it is. They're seeing that you aren't necessarily focused on revenge. Drastic in reverse. Karmic upright. You are not the one who's focused on revenge here, and people can see that very clearly. Access granted with denial in reverse. Everyone can see very clearly. They're starting to be able to read your energy, because before you were kind of concealing yourself out of protection because you didn't really all the way know what you were up against with this dark feminine. But you have since then figured it out, so you're able to be more authentically yourself. Recalling your higher self back to you. Returning. So you are getting back to yourself, and people can see this very clearly. And at the same time, the more your light shines, because this person connected this dark cord, every bit of light that shines on that cord is only amplifying that person's darkness. So there's quite literally nowhere for them to run and hide. So if you see someone that you feel like this is referring to and that person is not doing so well, insatiable, the ice is melting. They couldn't stop. They couldn't stop being a cold-hearted person. And now they're getting quite literally the heat turned up so that their ice cube melts because they just couldn't get enough of attacking you. And you're done. We have a Queen of Pentacles in reverse who is so self-obsessed, and this person is in a big state of fear. They're in a storm. They are getting found out for all of basically the root chakra attacks and solar plexus attacks that they've been sending you for a long period of time. They wanted to stop you from getting abundance, success, whatever it was, but they threw some kind of final attempt at you and it majorly backfired because now everyone around them is seeing that they were pretending to be someone that they are not. This person was extraordinarily fake, and now everybody else can see what you've known for some time. Looking ahead, this person knows that everything is out. There's nowhere that they can hide. They can't close people's eyes to what's now out there because they took a chance at putting it out there themselves. This person is very confused right now. They have really kind of gotten smacked with everything that they sent to you, but all at once. And quite literally, the devil is coming to collect. This person made a deal with the devil, couldn't deliver, and you get what you give. There's a message that's coming in for you. Page of Wands. It's one that's either about an adventure or one that is going to trigger an adventure to come your way. This is a message that you've been waiting for, the devil, but you were held back from being able to receive it because somebody else was in your energy. And Ace and Two of Wands, you're quite literally taking a step forward now into this new beginning because of getting whoever this toxic energy was out of your life. This message is going to not immediately feel like the fresh start that it is eventually going to be, but it's a very important piece of that fresh start unfolding because it is grounding you in your action-oriented forward progress. Before, it was like you were either grounded or you were moving forward. This is, I'm able to stay grounded while moving forward because of this message that's coming in. This is like walking away from something unfulfilling, which is that devil energy, but in the same regard, you're walking away from an entire chapter that it's just time for that chapter to end. So Nine of Pentacles, you're getting what you want out of this. You're not all the way there yet, but this is a huge step in the right direction. The Hermit, when I split the deck, you split yourself in two. You literally split yourself in two and had your one side look at and acknowledge your other side and vice versa and see what still was out of balance in terms of being mirrored between both sides of you so everything could be balanced. The Tower. You discovered something when you were in that like split apart, looking at myself from all angles. What is that Tower? Four of Wands. Look at that. They're going into a door. It's almost like, oh, I said the two sides of yourself, your masculine and feminine energies, went through the door. Oh. You went through the door of yourself and it experienced this Tower moment. Something about you felt before like the competition was trying to stop you because you weren't worthy, but you recognized that they were trying to stop you because you were worthy, and that's why they wanted to stop you. It's the same card, Four of Wands. Yeah, that's what you found on the other side of the door. It's like an increased ability to align with self-confidence. Five of Cups, Seven of Wands. It allowed you to focus on what went well in situations that didn't go your way. So before, you were looking at the situations as negative things because you thought you did something wrong to cause or deserve how other people treated you. Ten of Swords, how they treated you, stabbing you in the back, betrayal. But whatever this feels like a recognition of self, like it was always there, but you needed to validate and see yourself in that light. And you were finally able to do that. And because you were finally able to do that, the Fool, you're now, the Fool and the Star, you're now taking a leap of faith on yourself that you needed this increased confidence to really go into. You were trapped before because of wanting to make sure that you were not seeing a situation because you didn't want to repeat bad behavior in the future if what you did was not right. So this was kind of like a clearing of your conscience. Like you wanted to make sure that you were all the way clear and concise with knowing that your intentions were pure and anything that was sent to you or against you wasn't because of what you were projecting. It was because of other people being intimidated by the light that you were projecting. So what happens now when you get this message? And this could be a download too, a message or a download. Complete death and rebirth. There's like a version of you before and a version of you after you get this information, download, message. It's almost like you anticipate it, but you don't fully see how it's coming. It's going to be a surprise. Queen of Cups, Four of Swords. It's going to come when you least expect it, but it's going to come in a way that feels right. It feels like it flowed right to you in the perfect way. It's not going to be like a grand, I was going to say it's not going to be like a grand stop everything type of thing, and my phone just stopped for a second for my battery. So it's not going to be a grand stopping everything. It's going to be just kind of like it happens, and then you realize that that was the big piece that you needed. Kind of like right after is when you realize it. King of Wands, Ace of Cups. It's going to help you take passionate forward action, and it's quite literally your holy grail. This is a big piece of the puzzle that's coming into you because you earned it. This just came out, 8, 7, 6 of Pentacles, and then Death in reverse. It seems as though there's this tug of war going on with you and another person, entity, take it how it resonates. As you took steps in one direction, Page of Cups and Strength, reconnecting with and healing your inner child, as you took steps towards that, Strength and Two of Wands reverse just came out for them. So their path kind of crumbled as you continued to walk away. They were not able to follow you on the path that you were taking. And because of that, it caused that cord to snap that was between the two of you, because you were making too much progress to which they could not stop you, and to which they definitely could not keep up with you. Three of Pentacles, all of them. Seven of Swords, all of them that tried to betray you. So because you are going in a different direction, it is really causing tower moment after tower moment for this person, because they've been doing this for a very long time. And this image right now is giving me like Cinderella trying to run out before the clock, and Hierophant, your higher power has called time on whatever this plan was against you, because you learned whatever lessons you needed to learn from it, so you don't have to be the sacrifice. And again, it caused that cord to snap, and now the lion is out of the cage heading towards this person that tried to come after you. So as you took a step in this direction, it made that cord a little weaker, a little weaker, a little weaker, and then it finally snapped, and everything that was sent your way from that cord is going back to where it came from, and there's nothing they can do about it. First they blank, then they blank, and now they blank. First they tried to trick you, fool you into thinking that they were for you or on your team. Then they had to basically lose their own divine protection by making free will choices to go against you, beyond and against the wishes of their own higher council. And now they're gonna have to go back and readdress the situation that they tried to walk away from. What's that? The Fool, Page of Wands, King of Cups, Eight of Wands. You mean what they sent you is coming back to them? Look at that. Truth. Channeled message. You just successfully completed a test that you had to take subconsciously while being awake. So this is an instance where your enemies actually helped you because they kept you distracted. It's almost like your angels, ancestors, guides allowed them to amp up the pressure or whatever for a little while, because your spirit team was using their attacks to help keep you distracted. Because for this one particular test, it's almost like you had to be distracted so that your subconscious could be tested. It was a test of your reactions or lack thereof. Like, you were being baited to react, specifically in like a big blow up way, specifically about information that you had through either channeling or just some divine pathways. You were being baited or breadcrumbed into tower moment after tower moment. And these weren't like massive tower moments like you had in the past. These were like little towers that just, it was like the whole city was on fire. So it wasn't one big tower that shook the whole ground. It was just like tower here, tower there, tower here, tower there. And all of a sudden you turn around and you're like, oh, everything's on fire. What the heck? But that was the test. It was, you were meant to turn around and see that. And the test was, are you going to cause that big tower moment because of all the other little towers that were on fire? And you didn't. But that's the thing. This was a subconscious test. So this couldn't be a decision that you consciously made, which is why your enemies kind of helped you out in this one. They helped you out. It's almost like, I was going to say distracted you. They needed to keep you distracted for a certain period of time so that it could be your subconscious that was tested and not your conscious mind. So it's almost like that was the key that unlocks their karmic door, because there was certain pieces of karma that were being held back until they completed their soul contract with you. And part of that soul contract was, after everything they put you through, they had to help you get through that last test. Except neither side could know about it. But as soon as you got through the test, they have been made aware very clearly, very directly. And now it went from a competition with you to them just being terrified, because they now recognize that they lost the protection they thought they had, because they now know that their own team had to leave them out in the cold for this one, and they weren't expecting that. Their karma quite literally begins now, like it's kickoff now. This reading is for anyone who feels like you've been up against insane resistance. And as I said that, all the cards flew all over the desk, and pressure cooker in reverse is on the bottom. So the top of the jar is slowly being opened so the pressure can be taken off. Somebody was quite literally obsessed with trying to stop you. Plug in, pop up. They literally couldn't get enough of not leaving you alone. Obsession plugged and popped up. There's people who literally are invading your privacy or rights to try and stop you. Racing in reverse, so they're slowing down. They're reaching kind of a pivot point. Karmic today. Checkers or chess. They're playing checkers, you're playing chess, and time is up today. There's something that's going to be happening, and I always give this example of a hot air balloon with 20 strings underneath of it, and those strings represent the pieces of your life that are holding you back. It seems as though you are cutting or have cut or are about to cut the last string that's going to let this hot air balloon fly and get you away from these karmic energies. Recalling in reverse and done. I said get you away from them. Recalling, it's like the energies, you feel so frustrated right now because they're trying to call you back into like an old energy. And to do that, they need to bring a lot of that old energy into your life. Bounty hunter. They've been chasing you down, searching in reverse. They're no longer able to get anything additional on you. They've gotten everything that they possibly can, and they realize that nothing they have is usable. Wish and waves. It's coming and going, and they're hanging on a wish that they're going to be able to find something on you. Crickets and done. They can't find anything on you. Drastic in reverse as well. So they wanted to find like a key to bring you down. So they've been in your energy non-stop, and they're trying to be in your energy to push you to a point of breaking. Meeting in reverse. They're still concealing themselves. Magnetic in reverse. You're pushing this person away. You're pushing this energy out of your energy field because you know it doesn't belong to you. But you're still, because this is in your energy, drawing to you almost like somebody else's magnet is in your energy, and it's drawing to you the experiences or whatever should be coming to that energy, which is not the same as your energy. Done again, as I said that. So denial in reverse. This person's no longer in denial. They know that there's nothing they can do to have something on you because they've literally invaded every corner of your life or your privacy, and they've come up short. Grip, anchor, chains, weight it down. They got themselves in some deep shit. Sold in reverse. They are quite literally trying to offer up something else to replace the energy that they were supposed to give from you. So they now need to find somewhere else to go before they can leave your energy, come together and project it in reverse. So they need to go back to their own energy, and that's why they're having such a hard time leaving yours. I'm going to get a message from the universe that you need to hear today. You will soon be surprised and grateful for how everything happened the way it did, for you to receive better and greater. It's all adding up in your favor. Trust the process and how things are unfolding for you. What do we need to know about that? So it seems as though right now you have kind of pulled back a little bit. You can see there's like people coming in the background, and he's standing there in like a defensive position, and then the Empress is in reverse. So you've pulled back from expressing in some way over the last couple days or weeks because you found out about some kind of major betrayal. And this is the after tarot. So as he's doing the betrayal, he's setting up his own trap, but it's in reverse. So you now are aware of all of this that was going on against you, and you're just waiting for those people to slip and fall into that trap that they created for themselves. Tower in reverse. Don't be afraid of how it's unfolding here, and also don't try and save them because they need their karma. It's all adding up in your favor. Trust the process and how things are unfolding for you. With the Tower, Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck, you are coming back. Remember I said you pulled back. You're getting ready for the season of coming forward in your own rightful divine authority. But it's almost like you're going into a little bit of a hermit mode. Ace of Swords, truth. You're going into a little bit of a hermit mode before you come out to express your truth. So we have kind of pulling back and not fixing, but like evaluating and figuring out what still needs to be healed in your emotional atmosphere so that you can come out and really speak your truth. And it's almost like you're waiting to speak your truth until after these people fall into their trap, because it's not that they can stop you. Ten of Wands in the reverse, they can't stop you, but they can slow you down and frustrate you, and you don't feel like dealing with that anymore. You're walking away from that because it's unfulfilling. You're like, I'd rather wait a couple extra days or weeks until these people have to move on to something else. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. They're going to have to move on to something else because they're getting their karma for what they did to you, and they're going to have to prioritize focusing on their own life instead of yours. King of Swords in the reverse. They're going to not be able to say anything anymore. They're not going to be able to continue to action their attacks on your inner child or their attacks on whatever wound it is that they picked and they're just jumping up and down on. Hanged Man and Emperor. Their time is running up for them. They tried really hard to get you in this like sacrificial lamb position, and the whole time the divine was kind of just playing with them like, okay, I'm gonna let you think this is working, but it's not, but you're just building up your karma. And in effect, it wasn't even like being a bully from the higher power. It was essentially, I need you to build up your karma, as in the other person, as much as you want, because the more you build up your karma, the more you're going to have to leave the chosen one alone when it's time, so the chosen one can tell their story. So that's kind of, that's it. That's 10 of Swords. A complete ending of a cycle in which betrayal, walking away from the betrayal that previously was stopping you, so that you can release what you have to say, release your story, and find the support of the people that want to support you. And also, you're divinely protected, so you don't need the people who were trying to stop you, trying to trap you, because your time is coming and there's not shit that they can do about it. So just hang in there a little bit longer. Basically, the waiting period that you're in right now, Ace of Wands, is preparing you for the fresh start that hasn't gotten here all the way yet, because it had to kind of start so that the people who were against you could think that they were going to get away with it, because Knight of Swords in the reverse, they were never getting away with it. And also there's this feeling of the more karma they build up, the more they're going to have to leave you alone when your holy grail does come out, when you do start to express, when you step into that self-love of expression. And you owe it to yourself to redig those roots that you had to dig up for safety. You had to uproot yourself from a place that was not safe for you, and now take this time to reroot yourself in the place that you're at now, because your time is coming. And every day that's a little bit longer, or a little bit you feel like, okay, why is this not happening yet, has nothing to do, Justice in reverse, and my ears ringing, has nothing to do with you, and everything to do with the fact that your enemies are still trying to build up more karma. So until they give up, basically the divine is like, okay, I'm going to let this continue, because as soon as you do give up, that's when I'm going to have this chosen one step forward to tell their story, because you'll be too preoccupied with the karma that you created for yourself, as in the other person who is against you. So just hang in there. Your season is coming. It's going to unfold in a way that you never could have seen it coming. Usually this person's by themselves, but this is after tarot, so there's someone coming to rescue them in a way that you could not have seen coming. So hang in there. It's all going to unfold in your favor. The Fool. You're going to take that leap of faith on yourself when it's time, and you will know when it's time, because your enemies will be so preoccupied that they won't be able to chase you down the new path that you're going. Divine protection at its finest. I'm going to be using my rain stick so that we can get our higher self to help us clear some codes that are in the way of helping us see the path ahead more clearly. We're going to be focusing on the root chakra today, and at the end I'm going to use a tuning fork, and when I use this, I'm going to use it 3 times. The first time is going to bring all the codes to the surface, the second time is going to shake all the codes, and the third time is going to release all the codes. The rain stick is going to be in between. It is a little bit noisy, just so you are aware. So, what do we need to clear for our root chakra? We need restored faith that the path that we're on is the right one for us. So if we could please have the codes of anything that still needs to be removed that's blocking our faith in ourselves. Can we please have the codes so that we know what action or actions need to be taken so that we don't feel stuck in place. So what we need then is codes to remind us of our own divine authority so that we can take action-oriented, very direct and purposeful forward progress. Could we please have the codes showing us the purpose of why we are not further yet, or what it is that could remind us that we're right where we need to be to get to where we want to go, even if we're not where we want to be yet? Could we please have the codes to help us see clearly, I can't even talk, the truth about what it is that we are meant to receive, gain, understand about what we had to go through. We had to uproot ourselves to protect ourselves. So please help us get the codes so that we can see why that needed to happen and what piece of the puzzle it was trying to give us. Please help us see what burdens we are still carrying for others that are no longer needed for us to learn any lessons or grow, and we're just carrying these burdens just for the sake of helping others that wouldn't do the same for us. Please help us identify the burdens that are not ours so that we can put them down. Please help us see exactly which way we're supposed to be facing right now so that we can walk forward on a path and not feel stuck. We've had to kind of go around in a circle for a little bit to figure out which exit was right for us. Please help us be confident in our decision about which exit to take so that we can move forward. Please help us remember that we are the ones who are in charge of what unfolds in our life, and help us take our divine power and authority back to create our path and not just settle for it. This is going to bring all the codes to the surface. This is going to vibrate all the codes. And this is going to release all the codes. Have a good day. What you need to know today from your spirit team. You are resisting taking some kind of leap of faith on yourself. Why? You're stuck in the past. What are you stuck on? You're resisting a death and a rebirth that would help you take a leap of faith on yourself. 8 of Swords in reverse was behind the Fool. So something that would be very freeing for you, but you're not seeing it as freeing. It's hiding behind wanting to stay in some element of your comfort zone. What element of your comfort zone? holding back something that you want to express. About what? It's almost like you've been expressing a lot of pain and you're forgetting to balance that out with expressing joy as well. And once you start expressing joy as well, it's going to open up that opportunity to step into that death and rebirth cycle in a way that feels right to you. Getting in from the cold. So the cold would be the expressing of the pain, and it's in reverse, so it's like balancing out the light and the dark. So try and add in, maybe the next couple weeks, every time you express, and don't stop expressing it, but continue to express your grief, your sadness, your anger in whatever way you already are, but remember to follow it up with maybe something that you're grateful for or something that you're proud of yourself for. That will help you detach from the strings that are holding you back and help you move forward, taking with you the lessons that you've earned from it. Back to life, releasing your pain. So balancing out the dark with the light will help you move forward and feel more comfortable and confident to take that leap of faith on yourself. You know this is coming. You know that there needs to be a little bit of a shift or a change. You've just been waiting for someone to call you out on it. Don't be scared of it. This is the time for you to fully step into the fullest expression of yourself. And that includes the part of you that is openly proud of yourself for making it through all the shit that you went through that was supposed to stop you. Every situation in life is temporary. So when life is good, make sure you enjoy it and receive it fully. When life is not so good, remember that it will not last forever and better days are on the way. Balance out the good with the bad. I don't know who besides me needs to hear this today, but it's okay to have days where you just can't do it like normal. You just feel off. You feel sluggish, you feel just not grounded in your mind or your body, and that's okay. We have those days, and sometimes they suck, and sometimes they're hard and heavy, but I believe that our spiritual mind, if you will call it that for this example, sometimes gets a lot of information and then has to process it. And sometimes it's stuff that our human mind isn't even aware of, but will be made aware of after our spiritual side is done processing it. So all that to say that if it's a day where you just need a little bit extra rest, give yourself the grace to know that it's not just the 3D world that we're navigating through, and sometimes there's stuff going on with us that we can't really see in the moment, but that will be made aware of when it's time, and that we just need to do the best we can in the moment and not be too hard on ourselves for being human on the human journey. Have a good day. I know somebody out there has got to need this reminder today. If you're on your spiritual path and you know you're minding your business, staying in your own lane, focused on evolution, especially if you're focused on sharing light with the world, if people all of a sudden are falling away, going against you, they aren't trying to show you that you're doing something wrong. They're trying to make you feel like you're doing something wrong because they lost the power that they previously felt like they had over you. Here's the kicker. The power that they thought they had over you was only keeping the knowledge of who you are from you. The only power that they ever had over you was you not realizing that you were more powerful than them all along. And that's not saying anybody's better than anybody. That's just saying that you're focused on the right thing while they're focused on trying to wrong you. You can't do ugly things to people and expect to live a beautiful life. They'll learn soon. Channeled message. There's someone in your life that came in out of nowhere, and started immediately playing some kind of mind games with you. You didn't catch on until after they were about to be out of your life, or until you were about to kick them out of your life, should I say. This person is now looking at the situation from a whole different perspective, because they did not understand or understand the extent of what they were trying to do to you, because they signed up for something to get some kind of benefit or reward out of it, not realizing what you had already been through and how the demons that this person signed up to be buddy-buddy with were using them to try and put the final nail in your coffin, so to speak. But when all this backfired and failed, this person is now looking at the situation like, damn, I couldn't have handled what I put that person through, as in this other person could not handle what they put you through. And in a way, they want to reach out and they want to tell you this, but their throat immediately clogs. They aren't allowed. Every time they try, something comes up that either they stop themselves or outside forces stop them. And this person now realizes the extent of your spiritual protection. And this person now realizes your strength. Because again, they are finally, for the first time, probably in their entire life, stopping to give themselves a hard look in the mirror and recognizing that what they dished out on purpose, they could not take if it was done to them. And that's a big swallow for someone who's that narcissistic. Someone that's that self-absorbed, self-obsessed. Because their house of cards was built around them even believing their own bullshit. You got this person to realize they're not obsessed with themselves. They're obsessed with running from themselves. And they totally forgot why, because it's been so long. They've been doing this so long that they were able to repress the actual reason of why they started doing this in the first place. So Spirit was like, you know what? It's a good time to give this person a reminder of what they're running from. You want to guess what this person was running from? The same wounds as you. The same wounds they were targeting, jumping on, and trying to exploit. How do you think that's going for them? I'll tell you, not so well. There's someone here who wants to come back in and apologize to you, but they keep being blocked. It's like the universe is like, you're not doing that. You're going to leave this person all the way alone. This person doesn't love themselves. That's why. Their energy doesn't match up with your energy. You're on whole different vibrational levels. This person may have recently had a false start, and that's why they want to come back in and apologize now, because something else did not go right for them. This person is heavily stuck in the past about you. And it's almost like everything that they tried to make you feel like you could never be, they realized that you were, and they realized that they just set up the trap to betray their own selves because of the way that they spoke to or about you. Queen of Pentacles reversed with the Queen of Wands upright. They tried to make you ungrounded so that you could not show up fully as who you are in public or with other people. This feels like somebody who just kind of wanted to trap you, turn the lights out on you, and have you be in a constant state of being on guard or having your defenses up. Yeah, but you cut this person out. You said, I don't need this energy. We're gonna end it right here. That's it. There's no victory here for us. And this person really wants to come back in and try and show you. I almost feel like this person got a reading on you. There's the defense card again, and there's the lack of stress. So this person needed answers about you, so went and got a reading on you. Empress, Four of Swords reversed. They were told that you're coming back to life. You're totally fine. You're doing well. You have your priorities straight. You're not locked out in the cold. Everything that you stepped away from was what you needed to step away from, and it was a right decision for you. So this person got a reading on you, and they realized that you're on this adventure now, getting what you want. And this person wants to come back in and see if there's a way that they can stop this from happening. Stop it from happening. And Ace of Pentacles. They want to offer you a fresh start simply because they don't want to see you getting your justice. They don't want to see you getting your victory. This is about, this person feels as though they've totally lost control over you. King of Pentacles reversed, Two of Cups reversed. They feel like they've totally lost control over you, and they want to come back in simply to see how much control you will still let them have, because they're still stuck right where you left them, and you're getting what you want. So don't let this person back in. This person only, the devil, don't let this person back in. This person only wants to control or keep you chained to the past, and that cycle is closed. Looking into what's going on around you that you're unaware of, I got hamster wheel, receipts, and children, all in the reverse. So it seems like somebody was trying to get some kind of dirt on you because they are a literal child trapped in an adult's body. They wanted to make you feel like you didn't belong. And that card also says dreams and telepathic on it. So it's possible that they were sending you messages or things in your dreams. Drama Queen versus Archangel Michael. So this person literally had to face your ancestors or angels to try and do this. To try and get dirt on you or from you. Negotiator in reverse. They wanted to trap you in a corner that you couldn't get out of. But again, they weren't able to do this because they tried to come in with some kind of drama, and Archangel Michael was like, no, that's not gonna happen. Synchronicities. You may have been getting signs about this, or that could be what the music part is, the song on this card. It's almost like either the songs that you've been hearing have been alerting you or confirming certain things from your dreams. Realization and wish in reverse. They're now coming to the hard realization that their plan is not going to work. Intervention in reverse. This person was left on their own. It's like because they went up against your powerful angels or ancestors, their own were like, hey, you gotta stop this pretending in reverse. You can't pretend anymore. It's almost like they were trying to copy your energetic signature, ascension in reverse, but they can't because they're not on the same level as you. Today, what happens today? Love affair, dirty little secret. You're gonna get, listen to the songs that you hear today, especially like if you hear something in a song, take note of what time it is. Your angels, because there was someone hacked into your energy trying to create drama, crickets in reverse. Your angels are going to be really loud about giving you a confirmation or direction about something, but they're doing it in a way that can't be manipulated through this energy if they're still in your energy field a little bit. Commitment in reverse. They're on the way out, but it's almost like your angels and ancestors are going to alert you to what was going on before this energy is all the way out, so that you can feel the difference when they do leave. Bounty hunter in reverse. Their time is up. Their time is up to be in your energy. And it's because they went in your energy. It's almost like I'm going to go in this person's energy, legal in reverse, and I'm going to stay in there until I get the proof that I need. But they got what they went for, and it wasn't usable in the way that they thought it was. Like, they thought they were going to have dirt on you. Basically, they went in to get you to fully expose yourself, and with the agreement that as soon as you do, they have to get out of your energy, crushed. Their hopes and dreams are crushed, poison. They did this to themselves. Sad, broken, feeling alone. They went in to get you to expose yourself so they could use it against you, and they realized that you exposed yourself and there's nothing that can be used against you. Confirmation. Recalling in reverse. There's nothing else to find. Entrapment. They wanted to trap you. Roller coaster in reverse. It's like a bad roller coaster ride from hell, and they couldn't. They're the only one that's on this roller coaster ride by themselves now. Realization triggers. They wanted to use your past against you, but they could only use your past against you if they could get you to act or react, love in reverse, in that same energy. They needed to be in your energy, draw you back into past behaviors, and then use it against you. Racing, it didn't work. Racing and TikTok, time is up. Trash, they gotta go. They can't. They got what they went for. It's like your angels were like, okay, you want to get in here so bad, threatened in reverse. Your angels were like, we're not threatened. You want to get in this person's energy, go for it. You want them to expose themselves, go for it. But once they do, you have to leave them alone. And this person was like, okay, let me in because I know I'm going to find something. They didn't. They got nothing. Actually, the only things that they got, if they were to expose them, it would work in your favor as opposed to against you. So they just wasted their whole time, and they need to get a grip.